Well, hello, Shadows of Nox. I'm Grim. I will be your GM today for Chill, the spoof files, as part of the first anniversary events for spooky season here at Shadows of Nox. Um, I'm actually here for a few different things. I'm part of the Power Rangers podcast for season 3, which we just wrapped up the finale for. I'm the GM for Being Villainous, which is currently on hiatus for spooky season. I'm also in the Power Rangers Centurion Ridge on every other Wednesday. And I'm going to be in the Halloween Spectacular where Elizabeth runs Alien, and hopefully I survive. I say hopefully, and I doubt I will because it's Alien. You can occasionally catch me on Lucas G Variety playing Fallout as my Vault Boy Lucky. So, there's ways to catch me doing stuff. That's enough for me. We're going to go down the list. We're going to start with Clockwork Tuba. Go ahead, Joe.
Hey everybody, my name is Joe, also known as Clockwork Tuba. You can find me on Twitch or YouTube under the same name. I usually play cozy-ish games on Twitch, but right now we are doing a playthrough of MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries, or Clans, sorry, not Mercenaries, because I like big stompy robots. On Shadow of Nox, I'm usually on here on Tuesday nights with both Grim and Kit doing Avatar, and on the opposite nights being the other dad on stream by doing the Shadowrun games. I am also in a handful of the assorted one-shots up to including the Elizabeth Spooktacular, where I will absolutely probably be the first one to die. Yeah. We're talking about who we're playing, or no?
Yes. Talk about who you're playing for this game.
I am playing Professor Cuthbert Cropper, the old person who has tenure, believe it or not. You may not know this about him. He may only mention it once or twice that he has tenure, and who we decided last session has a lot of his classes taught by Associate Professor Ruxpin, as he just does whatever the hell he wants. Yeah, that's me.
Excellent. All right, we're gonna keep going down the list as I see people. That means next we have Gray.
Hi, I'm DarkerThanGrey. I can only be found on Twitter and Tumblr pretty much. I don't do anything, and I'm just here for this game, unfortunately. I'm playing as Heidi Bäcker, the lovely janitor of the university. She can and will hit you with a mop, and she will outrun you.
That's entirely fair. Next we have Kit.
Hi, everybody. I'm Kit. I'm here on Shadows of Nox in a number of our spooky season one-shots, including the Alien game, where I too will probably die, but not before I shoot someone. I'm gonna make it happen. I am also in the Avatar game with the others, being Villainous 102, and on Lucas G Variety, I'm in the Fallout game that was previously mentioned, playing my Vault Boy, V4/C70R. I'm getting better at saying it fast, which why do I do these things to myself? Anyways, in this game, I am playing Kenneth Kane, athletic scholarship boy who wants to study archaeology and is doing his best, and he's gonna be Kenneth. I'm gonna fail your class, Professor Cuthbert.
You're in timeout. You're just in time.
You're just mad because everybody likes the assistant TA better.
Yeah, the assistant professor is liked more than Professor Cropper. And last,
I like the assistant TA better than.
Last but certainly not least, we have our wonderful tech person, Isbitz.
Hello, I am Isbitz. I am here tonight playing Alexis Fletcher, journalism student that has just annoyed everybody on campus except for the janitor and Kenneth. Ken, yeah. They are the only two people on campus that like her. She is currently trying to write an expose on Professor crap names.
Cuthbert.
Cuthbert, thank you. Because she thinks maybe
That's
he's
Professor Cropper.
selling.
You don't use.
Yeah, Cropper. I keep getting your names mixed up together. It's really weird and awkward. But yeah, so she's trying to prove that he is selling answers to students. You can find me here everywhere except for Avatar and Shadowrun for the most part. I am in both Power Rangers games, the Red Ranger for the podcast and the Blue Ranger for Power Rangers Centurion. I am running Alien on Halloween, where I will. I got you, Ava. I will be announcing the winner of our raffle, which I will get into in a moment. I am also in Fallout over on Legacy Variety whenever we are able to play. And in a couple weeks, I'm going to start running Call of Cthulhu over on Enchanting Sorcery Productions for a group of people that I've never ran for before. So it should be fun and interesting. Right. Our spooky snacks. We are doing a raffle. We are giving away a mystery box. It is going to have some delicious baked good in it from Panajon, and some other stuff. I know one of the things that I accidentally leaked was that we're also giving away, I believe we're doing a Norse Foundry dice gift card. Which Eric over at Norse Foundry, who is our Black Ranger for Power Rangers Centurion, has donated to us. And then whatever else Panajon and I think Lottie, because Lottie is helping him, whatever else they can find to put in this box will be in this box. So twice per game, every game that we're playing this month, you can do hashtag spooky snacks in the chat. Please give us a minute or two cool down before you start spamming it, because I'm only one person, and then Joe's helping me for a couple of games. I need to make sure I can get everybody. So give me a minute in between before you start spamming it. But anyway, at the end of Aliens, I will pick a winner, and then Panajon will be in contact with you to get you your box. That is it for me. Please take over.
Excellent.
I do gotta say quickly, if I am selling test answers, and Ken is still failing my class.
He's too good of a boy. I wouldn't buy. I gotta learn for archaeology.
Ken is the bestest boy.
You're not, though. You're not learning.
When are we doing
I'm
the
doing
section on
everything.
whips, by the way?
For those who are unaware, this is the Spoof Files, which we are running using Chill 2nd Edition, which is a slightly older game, so the rules are kind of weird. But I'm going to go to my favorite part for any game that I run, in which point that I make the players think, which is who remembers what happened last time.
I was very mean to at least two people.
There was the date, and the date was fantastic.
Was
The
it?
date that wasn't a date.
There was a
I
date?
thought we had a great time.
It wasn't supposed to be a date, but it sure was.
Huh, that's so weird. I didn't realize there was a date.
One party thought it was a date. So last time we heard there was the melody, and then there was the scream, and then there was the splash, and only us heard it, or at least currently only us have heard it, and no one else has come forward or had the conversation about it. And it was when I went back and conferred with Associate Professor Ruxpin, and the tape that was being recorded on him. There was no audio on the actual tape itself. We checked both pools and found that I think was it orange? Was the water
Yes.
was orange?
Very slightly.
And there was hashtag justice for shoe, justice for go shoe. Sorry, my apologies, because Alexis took pictures of the pool, and then when developed, there was a ghost shoe.
And I found a shoelace in the pool.
You did find a shoelace.
In the filter, if I remember right.
Yep.
Yep. And then everyone keeps telling Ken to do things, and he does them because he's a good boy. And then everyone is mean to him when he's not around.
This is very true. Last we left off, there are some. Remember, there are a few additional clues that you found that you have not had a chance to investigate.
There was
Alright.
There was a water trail that led from the forest behind the school to the pool, or vice versa. We went to go investigate. We were all following Ken, and Ken was following us. So we went in a circle. And
We
then
got
we lost
nowhere
3 hours, I
fast.
want to say.
Yeah, we all failed
Uh,
our perception checks. It did not go well.
No survival
and then,
checks, no perception.
And yes, we did lose hours in there. People's watches did not match the time when we got back out.
And I found out that people were going missing, like, just in the sense of, like, all of them were explainable-ish, like either they left early to go visit family for a break, or they had mentioned that they were maybe going on a school trip or something like that, but people were just disappearing.
It's
This
a
is
poop.
true. Our one player who's not here did have the water submitted for testing to an actual science student. And if any of you remember, at the end of last session, you heard the melody again.
Yes. And it was Saturday morning, so the campus is relatively empty-ish.
A few Saturday morning classes. Yeah, there's a few Saturday morning classes, but most of them are empty. And since this is a small town connected to a university, or vice versa, a lot of the amenities are still open on Saturdays and Sundays. So we're going to go ahead and pick up where we left off. It is about 6:15 in the morning, so some of you are out and about doing things. If I remember correctly, the only one who's still asleep is Alexis.
Yeah, only a crazy person gets up at 6 o'clock in the morning to do things when you could be sleeping. Just saying.
I gotta get
mean,
my
some
gains.
of these people have jobs.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I take that back. Those people with actual jobs, that's fine. But for the rest of us, we should be sleeping.
Why do I feel like the actual jobs did get Professor Cropper?
It may or may not be.
It may or may not be. So, Alexis is asleep. We'll go ahead and bypass you for now. Heidi, you're in the middle of cleaning, or at least going to your next. You're going to your next location when you hear the melody in the distance again. It is unmistakable. And now that you're hearing it for a second time, it definitely does not sound like it is made by any kind of instrument.
Well, there's a logical explanation for that. It's one of those stupid new like CD players. Those don't sound like instruments.
All right. Are you just going to go about your business, or?
Well, she's gonna chase it down again. They shouldn't be playing it that loud.
Excellent. All right. So you're moving on to go find the source of the music.
After the previous day, she's mad. They will not evade her again.
They will not evade her again. All right. Here's what I want you to do then. I want you to make 2 rolls for me. I want you to roll running, and then I want you to roll athletics.
Okay.
Oof. I'm pretty sure.
Oh my.
If I had kept... Wait, no, I may still have the running skill. I do! It's a low roll, but I still have it!
Wow, your running is over 100?
My running's 110.
Fair enough.
Athletics time.
Yes, please.
That I definitely didn't pass.
You're getting them out of your system. You're getting them out of your system.
She is the queen of running. So you break off and start heading towards the source of the noise. Did you skip breakfast today?
No, she ate a bowl of muesli before she left, as she does every morning with black coffee.
Well, you're not sure if maybe it was the milk with the muesli, or maybe it was your coffee, but you've got a bit of a side cramp, which unfortunately does not allow you to properly chase that sound. You've got good form, you're making good time, but that cramp kind of stops, the chase.
She's gonna stop and be like, "Oh gosh darn. This is what happens when you don't warm up properly."
Yeah, suddenly running was probably not a great idea.
Yep.
We'll come back to you in a minute here because you will have a chance to spot a few things, but I want to have an idea where people might be. You're currently out in the eastern portion of the quad, over near-ish to Greek Row. Professor Cropper, what are you doing at 6:15-ish in the morning?
So it's one of those, you got to do the work before you get to do the fun stuff. So like he's got projects he can work on, like study stuff, but he's got to get some quizzes graded. I think he's currently grading Kenneth's quiz.
I'm doing a great job.
Kit,
Real
how many
enthusiastic.
of these answers are "it belongs in a museum"?
Hold on. Actually, no. I know how to find out. Let's see.
Are you going to roll archaeology?
Hold on. Am I in your archaeology class or am I in your history class?
This is basic history.
Cool. That's the one I'm worse at.
Excellent.
That's why you're
This will
failing
be
my
good.
class.
Yeah. Hold on.
Oh,
Shit!
Oh shit!
That's not two.
Yeah, I did really good considering my score is a 7.
Yeah, no, he's actually passing this one.
Yeah.
That's a high roll for him with a 7.
Yeah, I did a great job.
Like it's like hands are shaking as I'm putting the smiley face sticker on the top of the paper. Like this
You
doesn't
hate
happen.
it so much.
No. Part of me thinks, is it finally breaking through? Is he finally learning?
It's when you realize that this particular test had enough information that it was covered in the what were those Nicolas Cage movies where he one of them he had
National Treasure.
Yeah, yes, National Treasure. It's information that could have been covered in the National Treasure movies.
I don't think those movies are out yet in the timeline.
They are
but okay.
not.
Wait, oh, they're not.
National
When did they
Treasure
come out?
National Treasure was like 2010 ish.
I don't remember. I've only seen the first one, and I
The
don't remember.
important thing is that I
No, it was
passed.
2004.
Jesus.
Shit, that movie's as old as I am.
Don't say things like that.
Ow.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Ow.
You're welcome.
But yes, I am amazed, and like it is. It's one of those things of like it's the.
You gotta check it 3 times.
Yes.
Well, hey, this is Alexis. You'll like this too. It's more proof he's selling answers.
Excellent.
Oh my god.
There's a bunch of questions where he's passing because he's getting partial credit, but he's not because he's citing proper sources, but the answers are only half correct.
You know what's extra fun? I'm so much better at actual archaeology. Anyways,
they're just like answers where he starts off he gets the basis well enough, and then he just starts going off on like things he saw in Indiana Jones or other movies, and it's like just crossing out paragraphs on his essays, but still he's getting enough to pass. But I think if I do hear the melody, I will Oh god, this is gonna go so much worse. I will go trying to track it down.
Excellent. Are you planning on putting the quizzes away anywhere? Or are you just leaving them on your desk?
I know
This is a
Miss
question of
Fletcher
how
has been
seriously does he
snooping
actually
around.
take his job.
Well, it's one of those things of normally he wouldn't care in the sense of it's a basic level history course quiz. If someone is breaking into his office to fix that, that is super dumb of them, because these are basic stuff everyone should be able to pass in his mind. But with the rumors of Miss Fletcher snooping around, he does pull out his keys and then locks the door behind him and then goes scurrying off.
It's like your door lock's gonna stop me.
I mean, the fact that you're asleep is going to stop you.
Yeah,
Well, that will, yeah, but not his lock. That's easy. I can get through that. I've done it before.
All right, how are you chasing down this noise?
Um,
Are you just power walking towards the source? Are you actually going to run? The halls are
I mean,
mostly
got
empty at
running.
this time of day on a Saturday.
I've got running at 50, and say it with me, kids, I have tenure. So yeah, let's go bolting down these hallways to find the.
All right. Then I would like for you to make me the same rolls that I had Gray roll. So roll your running and then
See-
roll your agility.
Here's the problem. It should be fine. Like running, I got 50-50 chance. 50-50 chance. We should be good on this, right?
And...
Hey, you got
Yeah,
20.
we're
You're doing
fine.
good. And what is that? Is that a medium roll?
That's a high result, actually.
It's a high result.
High
Oh,
result
good.
is 6 to 25, so it's towards the high end or towards the barrier of high result, but still a high result.
Yeah,
And then
all right.
agility I have at a 30, so this is going to go much worse. Come on, old man.
That's a 30. That is a low result, but you succeed.
Parkour old man professor just
You're so used to actually like navigating these halls that you're able to run through them without actually having to worry about running into students right now because the hallways are mostly empty. You do make a couple of hard turns and collide with walls, but you're able to absorb the blow and keep running. We'll get back to you here in a minute. I'm assuming you're in the classrooms, which are on the northwestern side of the campus, or actually
unless
your
my
offices.
office would be someplace different. Yeah.
No, the offices are held in the same building. Most of the classrooms are on the ground floor. The offices are on the second floor, so you're having to make your way downstairs, etc., etc. Ken, what have you been up to?
I'm in 6 a.m. on a Saturday. I'm exercising, of course.
All right, are you like running on the track? Are you running through the campus? Since Saturday mornings are the campus is mostly empty. Are you lifting weights?
I assume they would prefer that I run on the track as opposed to just through random hallways, no matter how empty they may or may not be.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's plenty of open space between the buildings and
yeah. That's
stuff
also
like
where
that.
all of the equipment would be wherever the field and such is. So
yeah, so you're over at the sports complex in the northern part of the campus.
sure, yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, well, you hear the melody.
Let's go look for it. I guess I'm making the same rolls everybody else has been making.
Yes, you are.
All right, so
Which you should be pretty good at both of these because you're Mr. Athlete.
let's find out. Running first. Hold on. I'm still good. I'm still okay. That's just
Is that a low result?
I'm checking right now. Let's see. No, that's actually in the medium range.
Nice.
Yep. I got a 90 in that, so that's still pretty decent. All right. So now for agility. No, don't do that.
Oh my god.
Or
None of us are
Ken.
having good mornings.
At least you passed your history test, right?
It's true.
Yeah.
I mean, Cuthbert's doing fine. Cuthbert's like
Cuthbert's
dodging over stairs and skidding down hallways.
I apparently got a cramp.
well, you were doing something completely different than running. You were doing some weight training, so to transition from weight training to running has apparently is apparently winding you faster than you expected.
I guess.
That's just circuit training. Ken's weak. Damn.
Yeah, Ken's not having a good morning apparently.
You didn't do any better. All
The
right.
running queen has a cramp. What do you expect from the guy who's actually been working out all morning? Who has not taken a break, even though he probably should have from a hardcore
I mean,
workout?
it's only 6 in the morning. I only would have just got it going.
Uh,
You said it's like 6:15.
well, I mean, if you look at the calendar, the clock is accurate.
You have to understand. The first thing I do is turn off that calendar. You know that, right?
It is
I know, but
6:21
it's-
I'm the same.
currently.
Yeah.
it
sorry.
actually, the clock actually matters in this game, though. So,
I
you
looked
can
it
turn
up
it
this
into a
time.
smaller mode. You can turn it into a smaller mode, so you don't have to see the full thing to take up a big section.
That's not the point.
Anyway, yeah, you apparently hadn't properly warmed up, so pain. I would like all of you to make me a perception check, if you would.
Okey-dokey.
Including
Alright.
Alexis, or no, because she's still asleep.
No, you're still asleep.
Gotcha.
That's not gonna work.
There we go. I'm doing runner's high for the sake of runner's high, apparently.
Well, did you pass that perception check, Ken?
No.
All right, so none of you have picked up where the sound is going. Let me go ahead and get all of you to make me another running check to see, since you're still following the source. We're going to skip the athletics check this time.
I mean, that's a low success.
This low success here too. This feels slightly unfair.
high
If not
results
hilarious.
as Cuthbert gets into his stride.
It's got that perfect form going on.
It comes with tenure.
Comes with tenure.
I run with the power of tenure. There's definitely there is at least one like hedgerow that he should have gone around, and he just kind of fucked up as he jumped over it because he doesn't care because he has tenure.
Yep, there's a hedgerow that's now no longer a nice straight hedge. It's got some damage to it because you tried to jump it. All of you are sort of
Blame it on
following the
students.
noise. Heidi and Ken, you're both kind of slowing down because you're having trouble. You're having trouble locating the source of the sound. And for Professor Cropper, you're so in the zone of running, you've lost track of the sound.
You Ken and I just like Looney
I
Tunes
see
run
what
into
Kenneth
each other.
means by this.
This is when you're in the zone, it's like whoosh. Okay. Now, from where you are, all of you will hear this. There is the sound of a scream, followed by a loud thud.
Oh my.
It's not hard to locate the sound of the thud. Professor Cropper, because you had the best roll for that second that second running check, you're the one closest to it. So you're the first to arrive as you find Mr. Evans as you like to call him. For the rest of you, it's Bob Ivan. Is currently unconscious, and somewhat. There's a small indention in the ground where it looks like he hit the soft ground and then bounced. And he looks actually kind of hurt.
Oh my. Is there in fact a medicine? There is a Oh god, I've got a 9. Well then, I will do what anyone in the 90s will do and run over and put my fingers, hopefully, on this pulse and make sure he's still alive. But I will say
he's
this.
still breathing.
Okay. I check. I think that there's the moment where Cuthbert pulls out his watch, checks that, and sees that it's 6:25, and then at the top of his lungs just goes, "Mr. Kane, Miss Fletcher, your assistance, if you would."
Miss Fletcher does not hear you as she is still asleep.
I assume she's lurking nearby at all times, but I assume Kenneth is within the sound of my voice
So
because
hurt
he
right
usually
now.
is.
Just so upset. So
The
hurt.
first interaction we had in this game was what, Isabel? Was in fact Alexis sneaking and following behind me?
Absolutely was. Yeah, no, she was definitely skulking in the shadows. Yeah, 100%.
Well, Ken, you are in fact within the sound of his voice because he's yelling pretty loudly.
I mean, I was already heading that way.
It's true, you were.
I'm gonna get even more extra credit. The only reason I'm gonna pass this class.
So Ken and Heidi arrive around the same time. The campus is empty enough that only a few people are even looking in your direction when they see that there's a professor handling the situation. A lot of them are craning their necks but not getting any closer, so they don't have to get involved.
Mr. Kane, please go fetch the nurse and any medical kit that they would have with them. Miss Bäcker, if you could please find a phone and dial 911.
Flip
wait.
phone
This is
first thing
Bäcker.
this time, right?
In 1996, I think in 1996, cell phones were actually not common. They were available, but only a small number of people had them. Pagers were the big thing.
Yeah,
Actually-
I didn't get my first one until 2006.
Your first cell phone?
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Yeah, I
when
think
they
I got
were.
mine in. Yeah.
I would recommend that
phones.
you swap spaces with me. I do have some medical know-how, and I actually do have a medical skill of 62. Can she try and make an assessment of how bad he is?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, I will bolt off for a phone to call.
Never fucking mind, dude.
911.
I mean, how much luck do you have? Because you can turn that into a pass if you're willing to spend the luck.
Yeah, I only have 45. I don't want to spend too much of it, but it is session 2. Might as well.
Yeah, we've only got one more after this one.
Yeah.
You need to reduce it by 16.
It's 45 minus 16. I can't be made to do math.
29.
29.
9.
Yep.
Okay.
That will turn it into a pass. He is... he's lucky to not have any broken bones. He does have some pretty nasty bleeding scrapes. And he looks like he's having a little bit of trouble breathing, probably from the impact.
I do want to say, I think Cuthbert, and we can resolve this whatever, skids into the nearest dorm or whatever, and the RA is talking on the phone, and he just immediately hangs up their call, grabs the phone, and breathlessly says, "I have tenure," and then dials 911.
When they see you dial 911, they stop. They're no longer upset at you. For the 911 call, because we have a few things that are going to happen, we're going to take a quick break here, and then we will pick back up shortly. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Spoof Files. We have our missing player finally here, so I'm going to let him introduce himself before we get back into the swing of things.
Hi, I'm Rezin. Welcome to our beautiful and wonderful, magnificent spoofiness. You can find me here at the Shadow of Nox pretty much several times a week. You'll see me again tomorrow morning for more fun. I don't remember Badger?
It is
Team Badger?
That's what I called it. That's not actually the name of it. It's Tales of. I got it in a second. Just keep going, and I'll fill it in a minute.
Anyways, I'll be on several different things going on throughout the month of October here on the Shadow of Nox, where you can find me. I'm also here on Twitch at Rezin the Owlbear, where I hope to start streaming more regularly. I haven't been very good at doing that at all. You can also find me out there on YouTube under the Into the Darkness, where I play with other people who love the Call of Cthulhu franchise and Chaosium, and we play all those delicious games there. And occasionally you can find me over at playing some D&D over at the Delegation of Dreamers stream. So otherwise, I'm currently playing Bob Ivan, who's apparently been thrown off a roof.
We don't know if he got thrown.
We're
Yeah,
gonna
something
find out.
happened.
Dude,
Something
the
with
last
the
thing,
roof.
the last thing that happened at the end of last session was you were walking to the cafeteria to go get some coffee, and something grabbed you, and you were no longer at ground level. You were above ground level.
Huh.
Because the last thing you remember was looking down and seeing that your feet were no longer touching the ground.
Hadn't I gotten the coffee and gotten back to my dorm room?
Nope.
Misunderstanding then. I thought I was in my room and was floating randomly.
Nope, you were out in the middle of the quad.
Fantastic. Thank you for the clarification.
Tomorrow's game is Savage Worlds, and it's called The Vile Tome of Zeltan, run by Billy Berserker. Sorry. Figured it out.
Yes, that's tomorrow's game. And then I think there's a game on Sunday. Yes. That I might be in. I can't remember. It's not
You need to
important.
prep me
Anyway.
for these questions ahead of time. I don't know off the top of my head right now. Maybe 10 candles? I think it's 10 candles.
Is it 10 candles? Oh my god, I'm excited for that.
Anyway, as we return to game, Mr. Herald, Bob Ivan Herald, you're in a lot of pain. You're waking up, looking up. You're laying on the ground. You're looking up at the janitor you met yesterday. You're hurt. In fact, what I want you to do is I want you to roll me 2d10.
Oh. Okay. I think that's a D10.
And while
No game this
Rezin is
Sunday.
rolling that, just to confirm, yeah, that was about to say no game this Sunday. That's next week is 10 candles.
Oh no.
Okay, so you need to, under your current stamina, you need to reduce it by 18.
All right. Stamina.
Yeah, it
Mine
should be over to the
AC.
right side of the character sheet.
Yep.
And also, you've taken 2 wounds, so you also need to reduce your wounds by 2.
Cool. Yep.
Hmm?
Is it gonna let me just? Oh, do I just edit it? Nope. There was a problem. You are trying to edit a protected cell.
Okay, not the current one. The current one, the one that's on the left. You're looking over on. You should be looking at the right side of your character sheet where it has your current stamina, current wounds, current.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, the left number is the one you edit because that's the number that you were. That's the number that currently represents your health, etc.
All right. Cool.
Now you should also notice that your running and swimming has gone down.
It has. Fantastic. That's
Yes, because the game calculates based on your current stamina for both of those skill checks.
well. I didn't have swimming, so
Oh, it's a good thing you rolled really well because you might have had to we might have had to figure out how to get you to rejoin with somebody different because you definitely would have drowned.
Anyways.
Anyway,
just looking out over here.
yeah. So you're awake. You're laying on the ground. There's a sharp pain in your right shoulder, and in your general torso area where you made the impact with the ground. In fact, Heidi, now that he's on his back, his shoulder has started to bleed, and you can see very long gash marks. It looks vaguely familiar.
How so?
Well, there were some other sort of gash marks you saw on a different surface in a different place where there was some orange.
Oh, the ones on the pool floor, right? Or the
Yes.
yeah. Ooh.
So
Ooh.
apparently he's encountered whatever it is that caused those gashes.
What in the? Hmm.
Mother, was that you? Is it time yet?
No,
Go into the light.
you are not helpful.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is this supposed to be helpful?
Just not
Sorry
there.
about that. I'll do better next time.
No. Young man, can like she's gonna like put her hand in front of his face. Can you follow my hand with your eyes? She's like watching to see if his eyes track. She's like checking for a concussion.
Yeah, his eyes will track.
Okay.
Not the player actually decides to be a dumbass. No, his eyes will track. He's hurt, but he's not concussed.
Okay.
Apparently, he got lucky because with an impact that you can see from the ground, he should have been, but he managed to luck out. That's that high result for that agility you rolled right at the end of the last session.
Oh, that's right.
It's coming back to save your ass.
It is. Oh my god. Thank you, Rolls.
Okay.
It's my father's lucky penny.
Luck has nothing. Okay. Stay where you are. Emergency services are on their way.
Speaking of, Professor Cropper, you've dialed 911. The operator has picked up. 911, what's your emergency?
This is Professor Cuthbert Cropper of the what do we call it? Blackwood University.
Hunter Blackwood University.
We have a student who's injured. We would request an ambulance at the ASAP. It seems they have fallen. We're doing our best to keep them still. And then I put my hand over the thing and make sure you keep Evan still. And we would request
It's Ivan.
that you arrive
Professor.
and administer medical aid.
Oh, okay, where on the campus is he? I'm not going to force you to try and come up with something. You give the location, and they ask you for what are the details of his injury? You said he fell.
I found him on the ground. It looks like he had fallen. I'm not sure of how far away, how much he had fallen down to. He could have fallen off of a building. We are unsure at this time. We're just doing our best to keep him immobile so that he doesn't exacerbate any issues.
All right. EMTs have been dispatched. They'll be there as soon as they can.
All right.
Ken,
I'm gonna hand you over to a lovely woman named Rebecca. If you have any other questions, you can answer her. And I hand it back to the RA and just walk back out.
RA's name is not Rebecca. They just kind of look at you and they're like, they apparently the 911 person and quote Rebecca have a short conversation, and then Rebecca calls their friend back. Ken,
Yeah.
you know where all of the first aid stations are.
Yeah, of course.
So it's not hard for you to run into one of the nearby buildings, grab the first aid box out of the storage room, and then head back. By the time you get back, he is awake and talking, but he is kind of out of it, apparently.
All right, I got the first aid kit. There wasn't a nurse on duty. It's only like 6. They're not usually here this early.
I got a
They
question.
won't be here until
Does
9.
Ken know?
Does Ken know what?
Does Ken know where all the first aid kits are? Because, like in freshman orientation, they made you read through that thing, and Ken actually paid attention.
Someone was talking. I had to listen.
Is yeah, Ken's superpower is Ken actually listens to everybody. That's why Ken is such a good boy.
More like
They told
it's
us where they all were.
It's likely that the athletic students specifically have to know where all of like the stations are, because especially for them, knowing where all AED stations on a campus are can be incredibly important.
Yeah.
For sure.
So Ken has returned with a first aid kit. It's very rudimentary, but it will, allow you to help stop the bleeding, as his shirt is kind of soaking through with blood.
Oh, that
Do I
looks
need to make
bad.
do I need to make another roll for that?
No. Administering basic first aid, I'm not going to force you to roll for that,
Right.
unless you want to try to.
You
Let me
want to
double
risk
check
it.
something with the medicine roll. Because I think with a good enough roll on medicine, you can restore some of his stamina, if I remember correctly.
That would be nice.
I'm going to check the rules.
You don't need it.
Here, I'll. He's fine. Rub some dirt on it.
Knock it off,
Don't
knock
do
it off.
that. Categorically, do not do that.
The janitor's getting the Windex. It's fine. I'll be okay.
As someone who took one whole semester of EMT training, one semester, don't do that.
Here,
They can
take a
double
shot of
the
this
rate
Black
the
Salt,
stuff
you'll be fine.
heals at, but it doesn't automatically do it.
Okay, so you can choose to make a roll, but since you're not going to be giving him extended care, it won't do you any good.
Right, no, I'm just gonna administer, the basic first aid. She's gonna She's gonna pack the wound, like with what she has available, and then like have him stay still.
Yep, I can do that.
Smart of you.
If there's any sort of like brace available in the kit for his neck, she's gonna put one on.
Fair enough.
You will stay still.
So
But
after you've administered first aid, Professor Cropper has rejoined the group. All of you will notice that the music, the melody has stopped.
To give credit to Gray, Cropper will look up, and will be looking around, because none of us bothered to look up when Evans dropped from the sky.
Right, so you can see that part of the reason why Evans bounced is because Evans apparently hit one of the trees on his way down.
Thank you, Trey.
And it slowed him down enough so that he didn't just, hit full force. He's got a few scrapes and things that you can see on like his exposed skin from where he hit branches and stuff. And those are lightly bleeding, but not as much as the shoulder wound, apparently.
So the tree, if we do some basic maths here, can we extrapolate like where he fell from, or does it look like he fell directly from above where the tree was, and that's open air?
You can extrapolate where he fell from, and it is open air.
Good. Cropper's not taking this well in the best of times. So he's mumbling alibis at people, like what to say when the EMTs arrive. None of it's coherent enough. He has a charisma of, what's my super low charisma here? A personality of 35. So he's not doing a good job of this. But he is
Tenure usually
basically,
gets him what he needs. It's not going to work with people from outside of the college.
I've got a 75 luck. That I think I got a personality 35 and a luck of 75. I'm like I've cemented that as being the power of tenure, of like just things work out his way because tenure.
Because tenure.
I think
Sadly, none of your roles have been like they've either been pass or fail so far. None of them have been like, let me spend a few points because
Oh,
you have
yeah.
what? You still have your full 75?
I still have the full 75. Next session's gonna be fun. I am not failing a damn thing next session.
so. Open air, right? I assume my dorm is like across the quad, not near the cafe. I have to like cross.
You're still living in the dorms as a graduate student?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, that's what he chose to do,
cheap.
which most
it's cheap.
I mean,
Is it?
most of
I mean,
It's cheaper. Yeah.
okay, but money aside, like a 37-year-old graduate student would be super annoyed living with like 18-year-old freshmen. So that just like, I don't know, that whole thing just kind of bewilders me. But do you?
Well,
That's fine. Maybe Alexis
it
just
also
doesn't like
depends. It
people.
also depends on the dorms themselves, because like I know
Yeah,
like when my
Because there
brother
are
went to
dorms that are
Rutgers, there was
sectioned for older people.
purely a grad student dorms.
Nah,
Fair, I
he's
guess.
That
like
was actually-
Diogenes. He's beyond caring at this point.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
no,
Yeah,
I'm,
no,
I'm almost to the
this-
end.
Fair enough.
the school has a few like dorm rooms that are that grad students will fight for because they're far enough away from because there are specifically freshman dorms. There's no specific grad student dorms, but there's enough rooms in like more secluded rooms where they get peace and quiet, or a lot of the grad students will they'll just rent a room off campus.
Right.
Majority of them do that actually. There's a few of them that'll fight for like the 3 rooms that are actually halfway decent because they're far enough away from the freshmen you can study in peace.
Yeah. I just looked out that I have a roommate who isn't an asshole. So
Yeah, the three rooms that they have are the only ones that don't require a roommate. Unfortunately, you were not lucky enough to get one of those 3 rooms.
so I know that I was picked up, right, by something. You cut completely out.
You are aware you were picked up by something.
Okay. So knowing that like that's not gonna pass by, some normal person standards. Low grade, EF0, hit the quad, swoop me, pick me up past that tree, and drop me. It was real quick. It was a downburst. Science.
You said that out loud?
I got picked up by the wind.
Perhaps he
The-
does have a concussion.
The lacerations are from the tree, from falling into through the tree branches.
You say the wind picks you up.
Yes, the wind. As
The
in
wind.
a small gray tornado or dust devil.
Grim, is it windy at all today?
No,
Are there clouds?
Are there clouds in the sky?
I mean it's a fairly nice day for an autumn day.
The air's
I don't know what
relatively
else.
still.
Yeah, look, I was just grasping. I'm in pain. It's a lot easier to tell them that than it is to say that I was picked up by a mysterious entity and dropped out of the sky.
Yeah, she's gonna reach into the kit and pull out a miniature little flashlight and check if your pupils dilate. Like perhaps he is concussed.
His pupils
the
definitely
dorm-
dilate.
Professor,
dorm I
you'll,
ran into-
you'll back me up, right? This is a sound.
I do apologize for this Evans, because I'm literally walking away as you're saying this.
God damn it.
The dorm I ran in to go grab the phone, that is the closest building, correct?
Yes, it is
Whatever
the
building
closest
I ran
building.
in to grab. Okay.
It's
my
in fact, it was
plan
the girls'
now-
freshman dorm.
Oh, this is about to look bad, but tenure. I'm going to go in and go to.
That honestly makes it worse, I think.
It's so much worse.
Yep, there's nothing good can come from any of this, but like that is the next thing on the crazed professor's list of things he has to check out. Is someone's got to get up onto the roof to check things out. He does not trust Kenneth to do it on his own, and Miss Bäcker is the one who's actually attending to Evans. So he
Mrs. Bäcker.
wanders
Mrs.
off.
She's married, remember?
She's married.
Right, my apologies, Mrs. Bäcker.
Just because you've
Remember,
never
Schrodinger's husband.
Just because you've never seen him doesn't mean he's not there.
We've
Like her, like a random
we've
beam
attended-
of light hits her ring. It sparkles.
We've attended the same Christmas party for probably close to a decade at this point. There has been a different excuse all 10 years, and I have never met him.
Yeah,
Oh,
huh?
he's with
But
the
yes,
children
I-
this year.
Like each excuse gets less and less plausible as the years go by, but they're all true.
Yeah, it's one of those things of like everyone's like half convinced that she's killed the man. She's killed the man and he's stored in some freezer somewhere. But
Or she's
one's
pretending
gonna
to be married.
question on her.
The prevalent is if she didn't kill him, she's pretending to be married. But nobody can really call her on it because she ends up every once in a while coming back with like a piece of exotic jewelry. She's like, "Look what my husband brought back for me," and everybody's like, "What?" And then when you go look, it's actually something that's native to some place where she said he went.
Your daughter does refer to her father as well, and like the stories line up. So either she's also buying wholly into the conspiracy, or but yes, while the dust devil theory is being posited, Cropper is wandering away and going up to the roof to try to like look around and see what he can see.
All right. So you do not have the keys to get roof access.
You know who does?
Tenure?
Tenure
Tenure
doesn't
does
get
not
the
get any
keys.
keys.
Tenure gets me not in trouble, or at least
Tenure-
not publicly in trouble.
Tenure allows you to convince the RA to let you go to the top of the building because you're investigating a potential injury.
Yeah, so I do think it is one of those things of gets up like half of the floors, and turns realizes he has no keys for roof access, turns around, clumps back down the stairs, goes and asks Mrs. Bäcker for her keys, and then goes back up the stairs.
The only person
If
who
she
knows
will
that
allow.
she has the keys is Mrs. Bäcker. That's not a standard set of keys for her.
She's a janitor. They can go in for everywhere.
You just assume.
There are
I
for safety reasons. There's actually places that janitors don't have regular access to. She doesn't normally have to go up on the roof for things.
No, that's
Grim, I
maintenance.
love you with all my heart. You know this. Joe knows this. Most rational people know this. I want you to look me in the eye and tell me Cuthbert Cropper has the belief that there are places that he cannot just walk up to someone and say, "Can I have the keys to this?" and then walk away.
Oh no, that's fair. No, he could totally do that. I'm just pointing out. I'm pointing out what the fiction supports, as opposed to
Yeah, no.
Mr. Tenure's insane
it-
ramblings.
It 100%. It should not work that he walks up to the random janitor and says, "I need the keys to get on the roof." But she was just given the keys, and so because I have a 75 luck and it warps the narrative, the insane ramblings of this deranged professor come true as he walks up to a random janitor and says, "I need the keys to get on the roof. Do you have them?"
By the way,
Actually,
is this
that's a good question. What's your response to that, Heidi?
She will she has like a holster for all her keys. There's an extra ring on it now. She'll take the one specific key to where he needs to go and say, if you lose this, Tenure will not save you.
I'm much more terrified to you than I am the board of directors. Thank you. I'll take the key and I'll go. Because it works. You ask the janitors for the keys and they give you the keys. That's how the. I also love the fact that like the reason that she has the keys is because she mentioned Cropper to her boss, and her boss was like, "This is just gonna make your life easier."
Here's the master key. Also, is this building that he's entering the closest to that tree that I could have fallen on if I jumped?
It is not.
The most.
It is the closest one. However, it's too far for the angle in which the branches are broken would make no sense for you to have fallen off that building. Also, it's the freshman girls dorm. Why would you have been in the freshman girls dorm? Were you doing something creepy, Mr. Grad Student?
Oh right, yeah, it is the freshman.
No,
Yep.
no doing the eyebrows. I don't care. I don't care what your character is doing. You're not allowed to do the eyebrows.
Okay, that's fair. No. I had no reason to be there, other than to commit the awful
She's
sin
still
of
like
self-death.
she still has the like key in her hand. Like Cuthbert's like trying to take it from her, but she has like an iron grip on this thing as you're speaking. She's like, "That is the freshman girls' dorm. Why do you need the key to the roof?"
To get a visual on whatever the hell did this to him.
Young man, where did you say that you fell from again?
Right about here.
Do
I
you
told you, the
any
wind-
gesture?
He points to like open air. By the way,
This does not make any. He's obviously concussed.
I'm not concussed.
Just by her
a
checking.
concussed person
like,
actually can't tell.
Yeah.
As someone who's been concussed, you actually can't tell.
Yeah, no, you can't.
Yeah, you
Mostly
can't.
because you're usually, if you actually have been concussed, you're usually slightly disoriented, so you don't know.
And also,
And
just
if you aren't
kind of
concussed-
tired and just want to go to nap.
Yes, no, I was forced not to nap when I got concussed. It was,
Same.
yeah, it's a bad thing for you to nap.
So,
That sounds really good.
quick question. Was Heidi part of the conversation about there was nothing on the tapes?
No,
And
the only
also
person you
the
spoke to was
melody?
Ken.
No, I brought it up to like everyone at the cafe.
Then yes,
So
Heidi would have
I
been.
don't know.
Yeah, she was there.
Okay. So,
Ooh, with the
while he's
security-
trying to take the key, he will look you in the eye, and in a rare moment of Cuthbert sincerity, TM, will say, "I am not sure anyone we send to look at the roof will be able to see what we can see."
You are suggesting that he speaks the truth?
About the dust devil? No. The Evans is deranged on that. I'm assuming that whenever
It's
dropped someone in the
possible
pool.
cause.
Also dropped him. Whatever's causing the melody.
The odd scratches and like the orange that surrounds him on like, his like now packed shoulder, it like blares through her mind. It like flashes through. Bring this back quickly. And she'll release
Excellent.
the key. You go
Ah.
flying with the force of it.
What else
So-
is
Like,
the-
fall
Ah,
backwards.
I have the thing and gone.
Ken,
no, here's
you've
the
been
thing.
watching this
Uh,
whole exchange so far.
That's
What are
the next
you-
part is, do you need Mr. Kane or may I take him?
Yes, go with him.
And to answer your question, what I was doing, I was probably like gently patting Bob on the shoulder that's not completely screwed. Like, you doing good, buddy? We're gonna get you. You're good.
Gonna take a
Yeah.
nap.
Nobody's paying attention while you're
No,
giving
no,
him the.
No nap. You
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
have
yeah.
nap right now. Naps
No,
for later.
Just a little nap, and then I can get back to
It's too early
back
for
to the
nap.
dissertation. Dissertation.
Oh God. I just realized something.
More evidence for them to think that he's concussed.
She's gonna like
Also
she's
true,
gonna like
but also
forcefully pat his
gone.
cheek. Stay awake.
No.
Ken, you're becoming my himbo Watson.
That's the worst thing that could happen. For you, to be clear. And I suppose I will, what the professor apparently needs me is like, I'm getting so much extra credit these last couple of days, I might pass.
Also, Cuthbert realizes he is going into the freshman girls' dorm. Having the
Yeah.
golden retriever helps because you can't be mad at Kenneth.
That's how I've been thinking
Ken
of it
doesn't-
too. The golden retriever in the group.
Heidi finds it quite easy to be mad at Kenneth.
I feel this is very unwise, Professor. You and a young boy going into the freshman girls' dorm.
It's okay, Bob. I know it was your dream, but it's okay.
What?
All right,
And we're
so
gone.
Thank God.
the two of you make it to the roof after a few minutes of climbing stairs, because this is the 90s. There's no elevators, and,
There's elevators in the night.
not in university dorms.
Not yet.
Well, here's the more important thing. The elevators, if there are in the center of the building. The place we do not want to be is in the center of the building. We would
That's
rather
probably
be
true.
going up the fire exit kind of stairs.
So, I have a question for our lovely GM. Is there any way, through luck or circumstance, we can have our intrepid reporter wake up to Professor Cropper in the first year dorm? Isn't that where she is?
I was gonna say, are you a first year or are you a second year? Or
No,
a third year?
she's probably not a first year. She's she
Alright.
has been on campus enough to piss everybody off, so she's probably at least sophomore, if not a junior.
Are you?
I do.
So, here's my other question then. Have you pissed off enough people they force you to be an RA so you can't have a regular sleep schedule?
I really want to say no, but honestly, that feels like something that would happen.
Well, I will
Excellent.
I will suggest this. There are about to be ambulance sirens on campus. If anything,
This is also
will
true.
pop the reporter out of a dead sleep, it is the scoop of there's an ambulance.
Yeah, there's sirens. I need to investigate.
It's what? It's been probably 10 minutes since you called, and they didn't take. They're going to take an injury seriously. So yeah, there's sounds of sirens on the school. They're not in your building. Your RA on Saturday doesn't start until 9 a.m. when you relieve the person who does the last half of the overnight shift. But you're woken up by the sound of sirens about an hour before your alarm.
She immediately wakes up and smacks her alarm, thinking that it's her alarm at first, and then she looks at it what the, I still have an hour, and she goes to lay back down and then realizes that it's still going on. Oh shit, it's sirens. And she jumps out of bed and very quickly gets dressed and gets ready, and grabs her stuff, and then immediately beelines over that direction.
Yeah, it's not too hard to get to. Are you staying at one of the girls' dorms? Because they do have gender, separate dorms.
I don't think it really matters to her. She would have just taken whatever she was assigned. Actually, no, I take that back. She's probably in one of the mixed gender ones. She probably is staying with, I don't want to call them a friend, because I don't really think that she actually has very many friends, because people just, for some reason, don't like her.
I wonder why.
I have no idea.
What could it
She's
be?
delightful. I think it's somebody who can A, put up with her, and B, they have either separate schedules, or they're both gone and asleep at the same time, so they don't actually have to interact with one another very often. So I'll just say it's one of the mixed gender dorms.
All right, all the difficult ones where you have to actually patrol at all times of day. The one that's actually the punishment for being an RA, to make sure that people aren't doing things they shouldn't be.
Exactly. And I mean, it comes with the benefit that she can flirt with the guys that are in the dorm to get more information. So she kind of uses that to her advantage. Not that she would, exploit that, but she would totally exploit that.
Uh-huh.
Aw.
Well, it's not hard to find the source, as you can see from across this area. EMTs are hunched over somebody who's laying on the ground, and you can see Mrs. Bäcker standing over this person as well.
She heads in that direction until she sees who it is, and then she probably stops.
Oh yeah, it's Bob Ivan. Which, by the way, there's a dent in the ground nearby where he is, and your reporter's eye catches some broken tree branches.
She puts two and together, and she kind of looks up and looks at the branches again, and then looks at Bob Ivan and sighs, and walks over there, and she absently pats in his direction but doesn't actually touch him because she's not actually paying attention to him, and she's like, "Oh good, you're okay. Miss Bäcker, what happened here? Can you tell me what happened?"
Oh,
Mrs. Bäcker.
Miss right, I'm so sorry, Mrs.
Oh, Miss Fletcher.
Yeah, no, Miss, definitely Miss. Nobody likes her enough.
She has a boyfriend now.
Does she though?
She went on a date with Ken.
Does she?
Does she?
Alleged, Kenneth sure thinks so.
Oh, that's so weird. I had no idea.
I'm making these assumptions, but Kit can confirm or not.
We're gonna leave it wild and weird until we find out for sure.
Fair enough.
Love it.
Everyone can think whatever they want.
Yeah, she'll immediately be like, there was a shout and then a thud earlier. We came, the professor and that young man, Kenneth, whatever his name is, came running, and the student was just here.
She's gonna look back down at Bob Ivan and start and then stop and be like, "Did he say what happened?"
Some inane ramblings about a dust devil.
So what do we think actually happened?
To be honest, I do not know. I actually need you to do something for me. You have your camera on you, yes?
Of course, yeah, always.
Take a picture of his shoulder.
She leans in. Do I really have to?
This is important.
Okay. She's gonna take the lens off of her camera and say, "I need to take a picture. Can you please just stay still for me for just a second?"
The EMTs are checking him over, and one of them is removing the packing so they can get a look at the wound, because the packing shows a little bit of blood, but not a lot. So they're wanting to check that out before they transfer him.
Yeah. As soon as she sees that, she's like, "Oh, yeah, could you actually move that so I can get a picture of it? It's very important."
It's fine. Let her take a picture.
The EMTs kind of roll their eyes, but they do uncover the wound because they need to look at it anyway. But they'll give you a little space to be able to take a picture before they actually look into it.
She gives them her most charming smile. "Thank you so much. You guys really do the best work. You guys are amazing. Thank you for being you." And she starts taking pictures at different angles of the wound.
Yes. Don't forget to get my good side.
She's gonna turn around and take a picture of the ground. "I got it." No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, she takes pictures and then she "Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. You can please make sure he's okay." And then she's gonna turn back to Mrs. Bäcker and say, "I have the pictures. I'm gonna take pictures of, it looks like maybe the tree branches were maybe he fell through the tree branches. I'm gonna take pictures of that, and then I'd really like to maybe get up on the roof and see what's up there." Thank you.
I do not have the key at the moment. I gave it to Professor Cuthbert. But before you do that, did you
Professor
notice the same
Cuthbert, you
thing?
say?
Makes a face of disgust and just like if there were subtitles, there would be in parentheses disgusted noise. Ugh. Did you notice the same thing that I did?
Did I notice the same thing she did?
Yeah. She's like obviously alluding to the orange, and the similarities to yesterday. What did we see?
Well, there's no orange. There's no orange on him. You just noticed the wounds because you saw them before too much blood welled up.
Okay.
At least one of the pictures. Actually, go ahead and I want you to make me an investigation check,
I would love
Miss
to.
Intrepid Reporter.
I would love to. Me. That is that's a medium result, sadly.
Medium result is enough for you to have noticed the fact that the bloody wounds were long gashes.
Interesting.
And
are they like claws? Like, do they look like claw gashes, or like a weapon of like a sharp weapon of some sort?
definitely looks like it was something sharp. It is hard to say because of the blood, whether or not they were, whether or not they were claws, but they do look familiar. You remember seeing something similar sometime recently. In fact, you have a picture of this thing from sometime recently.
I do. And she turns back to Heidi. Yeah, actually, yeah, that looks really familiar. Excuse me, Mr. Paramedic. Could I trouble you one last time to maybe I need to see the wound completely cleaned. Would you be able to do that for me, please?
All right, I would like for you to actually make a roll
Oh,
for them to let you do
no.
more than just take a picture.
Personality.
I
Ding,
have a
ding,
great
ding.
personality. Thank you very much.
Do you have a
Right?
great personality score?
Kind of. It's not my worst
How about
score.
savoir-faire?
Oh wait, that's not the right one. Hold on.
Affair would in this particular case, savoir-faire unfortunately doesn't help. Acting might, since you're trying to act friendly.
Oh, look at that. I got a 13. That is a high result. Thank you very much.
It is in fact a high result. They're willing to clean the wound for you,
I'm very
though
personal.
they were getting ready to clean it up anyway because they realized that while he's hurt, he doesn't actually have a concussion, and they can.
He's just like that.
Yeah, they have to check the wound to see if he needs stitches. If he doesn't need stitches, then they don't have to take him anywhere since it looks like it's really just a. It looks like he lucked out and got like a few lacerations, but no other real lasting injuries because they were checking for broken bones and things like that.
Pretty sure that wind downburst threw me into that tree. That explains the long drag marks.
When they clean it up for her, she again gives them just a very bright smile and says, "I would love to do a hero piece on you. I think the work you do is amazing, and I would love to know more about it. So I would really like it if maybe we could get together and I could maybe interview you. But hold that thought." And then she's gonna go back to the wound and look at it a little closer.
Do you want to take pictures of it?
Hold on. I don't know yet. Let me look. What is my photography? Can I investigate it instead?
You can do that.
Okay. I think I want to do that.
Wow. What did I do that for?
That is another medium result.
Okay. So from what you can tell, having taken a closer look at it, it does look like some claw marks. They're a little unusual. because the spread is not quite right. It doesn't look like anything it looks, based on the fact that he actually has one gash on his back shoulder since they've had him sit up. It definitely looks like this was more of an avian type claw than anything that you would see around here. There's no native birds that have claws this big.
Like maybe like talons, like big talons.
And there are no native birds that have talons as big as what you're estimating these are.
That is very interesting. Thank you so much again. Oh, hi, Mr. Kitty. I'm
You're
so sorry
welcome.
to. Right. I'm so sorry to interrupt your work. Please, if you feel like he needs to go to the hospital and, sedate him, I think that whatever you think is best to
sedation
heal
is
him.
a tad too far, but morphine might be nice.
Will that get him to stop talking? She leans into the paramedic. I'm just kidding. But no, really, if he's in pain, maybe you should give him drugs. We wouldn't want it to get infected, and we don't want him to any more pain than he needs to be in.
Miss Fletcher, let them do their work.
Right. I think you're right, and I would like to maybe go up on the roof.
Yes, we would. I'm remiss to leave him alone.
I'm in fine care with these young gentlemen.
She's gonna pull Heidi aside and say, "It looks like some sort of maybe winged creature. It looks like, and this is gonna sound crazy, but it looks like talons of some kind, like really big talons that should not exist. I don't know. None of this makes sense."
I find myself in agreement with you. Let's go join the other two. Ivans, if you need anything, phone the dean's office. Have someone
Yes.
come and get either of us.
And find us when you're fixed up, I suppose, so we can know more about what happened to you.
Yes. Right.
Right.
Okay.
And then, he'll be fine. Come along. And then she's gonna have the two of them chase after the two men currently attempting to sneak through the women's dorm.
Who's anything about sneaking?
Dun, dun, dun,
Literally just
Dun, dun,
walking
dun, dun.
through. Zero
walking.
cares.
I feel like Ken could be pulling a Kronk.
Hey!
Da-da-da.
Yeah.
Doing his own theme song.
Um,
Luckily for the two of you, you can take the elevator because you're both ladies, and no one's going to question it. So you can get up there shortly after the other two arrive. Real quick before we go to the upstairs, Bob, Ivan, the two guys have checked you over. They've determined that you don't need stitches. They are asking if you want to be taken to the hospital. Your injuries could require an X-ray. But
let's
On a
let's
grad
do it.
student's money.
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
All right.
thankfully.
so I'm giving you the option to be able to stay in the game or be out for a little bit, because if you get taken to the hospital, it's gonna be you're gonna have to wait until after they finish the current leg of investigating before you can rejoin,
I guess I'll.
because you're literally gonna be gone for a while.
So I'll ask if they could. Here, let me see if I can stand and move for a moment, and then I'll decide whether or not I should go in. Because if something feels broken.
It may be pre-recession, but it is still America, and an ambulance ride's fucking expensive. You're a
It
cop.
is. I know exactly how much it costs.
Oh, buddy.
They're basically giving you the option to get your own way to the hospital or take the ambulance ride. They will do a couple of tests with you so you can check. So you'll be basically busy with that while everybody else is on the roof. Though the professor and Kenneth arrive on the roof first because they had quite a bit of a head start.
Yep.
Is there anything in particular you're looking for while you're up here?
Didn't think that far.
No. I think at least Cuthbert is using it as a vantage point to see if he can see anything that is airborne. Because something picked up Evans and dropped him, and so he's basically just wandering around. Like eventually he will look for like claw marks or something down the roof, see if it's roosting here. But for right now, he wants to see if he can catch it like in flight or something like zipping around.
All right, then I would like for you to make me a perception check.
Okay.
Ken, are you doing anything other than following the professor up to the roof?
I mean, probably looking around as well.
Then I want you to also make me a perception check, which is
Cool.
not great for Ken, as we all
Nah,
know.
he's not a
Unless he rolls a
Hey!
6!
Well, I wasn't actually expecting to see things. That's within the high result range.
Excellent. All right. So as the professor's looking around, he's investigating. He looks around in the sky. While he's doing so, you're walking around the roof of the building, looking at the building. Because it hasn't occurred to you that whatever it is that picked him up might be flying. You're still of the opinion he
No one has
probably got
pointed out-
thrown.
No one has pointed out the claws or the orange or anything to Ken.
Nope. However, what you do find is something that reminds you of something you saw while you were doing your rounds of the archaeology research area. It's a feather. The feather is this darkish blue-gray, and it's bigger than what you would expect from any of the native, crows or ravens that are in the area.
Okay.
But you swore you saw something like this when you were wandering around in the archaeology's research department, because you
Shall I
wanted to
make
see
it-
more about what they were doing to help your Indiana Jones progress.
Shall I make an archaeology
Find
roll
where
then?
we stored the whips.
Please do make an archaeology roll.
Woo!
Do you show this to the professor?
Hold on. Yes. With
He
a
has no-
93, yes.
He's seen it before, but he has not drawn the
The conclusion. Like,
he has not put the clues together.
hey, Professor, look at this cool feather I found. Could have swore I've seen it somewhere.
Is something going wrong with that? What is the skills that factor into anthropology and archaeology?
Check the skill chart. You should still have the skill formula chart. on your
It's
character sheet.
perception and willpower.
Okay, because mine's saying I only have a 30, which is not true considering my perception skills are both 60s, and I have it at teacher level.
Take a look at your character sheet. The formula may not have transferred
Okay,
correctly.
copy that and see if I can. $90 is much
If
better
you have
than
it at-
30.
I was gonna say if you've got training, the 30 is the bonus you get to the skill for being trained.
That's a 19.
I believe that's a
so
high
that is, in
result for you.
fact- That is in fact a high result.
Excellent. Yes, you have seen this before, or at least remains of one that was connected to a fossil that was brought into the archaeology department like 6 months ago. There was a nautilus shell that was brought in to the archaeology department about 6 months ago that was discovered actually in the God damn it, what's the name of that ocean, the name of that sea?
The
Mediterranean.
Dead Sea.
It's off the coast of Greece. I can't remember what the name of the sea is that's there.
Mediterranean?
Mediterranean.
Oh, good.
Yes.
It is what I was thinking. It was off the Mediterranean. It is decorated. The nautilus shell is not native to that area, but the decorations and other things that are on it are definitely very Greek. The shell looks like it comes from an ancient nautilus creature that was found around the Philippines. However, for some reason, there are some obscure Greek myths that attribute nautilus shells to Poseidon, even though they're not normally, the larger ones like this are not native to Greek oceans. To the seas around Greece.
I think that Cuthbert is saying all this out loud. I'm hoping Kenneth is absorbing any of it.
You know what the sad part is I actually got a good archaeology anthropology score. I just rolled complete
Okay.
shit on that.
Actually, that'll give Ken a chance to re-roll, I will say, because I would like for Ken to actually know things.
Hey, I know
Hey,
things.
there we go.
That is on this range.
I'm the best teacher ever.
That is right in the just barely not a high result. So medium.
Medium result. Okay, so that means that you, Ken will actually say that he remembers seeing the shell, and he thought it was weird because it looked like a horn to him, like something that somebody would use to like blow signals or something like that.
Yeah, don't we have one down in the archaeology department? This looks like a fresh feather, though, right? That we're currently holding.
Correct.
And it's just carvings that are on the Nautilus that have the feathers, right?
It looks like there were. They have found remains of the feathers, like little fibers from them, but not whole feathers. Okay. And you've seen the fibers. Kenneth has not seen the fibers, but he does remember seeing the shape of the feather on the Nautilus shell.
Gotcha. Then yeah, that is the next stop.
Yeah, we should go check that out.
That is the hands clasping Kenneth, my boy. This is archaeology, and let's turn. I think we turn to leave just as, because like I love Kenneth. I'm not going to leave the door. I'm going to prop the door open so he doesn't lock us on the roof.
You have the key, but okay.
I don't trust you. There are ways Kenneth gets. Kenneth has the ability to get around plausibility.
So the two of you have found the feather, and you're getting ready to leave when you are, in fact, joined by Mrs. Bäcker and Miss Fletcher.
Hey!
Which one of you has the feather?
Ah, yes.
I don't... Ken had it in his hand. He showed it to the person. I don't think he handed it over, so let's go with Ken.
Yeah.
Excellent. So what you do see is Ken is openly holding on to a very large, oddly colored feather.
Like we may have been right.
Ah, yes. Mrs. Bäcker, one key returned. And
She's
onward.
Gonna give him a very suspicious look. Like, why are you so comfortable gallivanting through the girls' dorm? But she doesn't say anything. She just gives him a look, and she takes the feather.
Hey.
Heidi returns the key to her key holster.
That is Mr. Kane's feather, Miss Fletcher. Please ask before you take things. And then I immediately just start heading down the stairs because they come to the archaeology department.
Since you have the feather in your hand, I want you to go ahead and make me an investigation check.
Of course. Where's my character sheet?
You can now examine the feather closely.
Hopefully.
Dun dun dun.
Ooh, that is a high result.
Very nice.
Okay, so this particular feather looks like a feather for a this looks like it's a feather for a bird of prey, but not one that you would find living in the mountains. It's slightly oily, which means that it's designed to prevent it from getting. It's basically a feather that is designed to allow water to run off easily.
To get wet.
Fascinating. Hey Ken, can you turn around for a second? And she's gonna put her notebook like on his back while she's like, and like hold it up with her palm while she's looking at the feather and like take notes.
You guys are so mean to Ken.
I am very nice. I'm nicer to Ken than I am anybody else.
That's fair.
That's not saying much,
That's
Alexis.
true. That's a real low standard.
Also, you know what? I've done that when I was in school. Like, I need to write something down, and I'm like, "Hey, can I
I'm
use
not
your
being
back to?"
mean.
Yeah, I've done this
Uh-huh.
before too.
I'm not being mean.
Well, there's a difference between saying, "Hey, can I use your back?" and Kenneth, turn around.
True. Also, you yanked the feather out of my hand without asking. Anyways, Ken
Oh,
obviously
I
does
thought-
it.
I thought the professor was handing it to her. That's why I took it.
No, I was handing the key to Miss Becker, Mrs. Becker, because
that's my
I had
bad
taken the key
then.
from her. And it was, that's why I said one key returned and handed it over.
I missed that part.
Yeah,
My
return
I
the
can-
key to her holster.
It's fine.
Yeah, key's in the holster. You have the key back. The professor has started his way down the stairs. Ken is being
You can
used as a
follow or
temporary
not, it
desk.
does not matter. Tenure.
Cuthbert, remain.
As she like takes notes, she's gonna like, thank you so much. She's gonna hand the feather back to him. I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to snatch this from you. I was woken up by ambulance. Anyway, here, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. If you want to take note, you should come to the archaeology where there's like a cool shell with like Poseidon, and it's got like pictures of the feather. It's gonna be neat.
Oh, that actually sounds really interesting. And again,
Yeah, I
she's
know, right?
completely oblivious that like the whole like date thing happened. She literally just thought that it was the two of them having dinner because she wanted to get away from Bob.
Yeah, and now this is happening at 7 a.m, so there's no way she's thinking normally.
Exactly. So she's like, "Would you mind showing me?" That sounds actually
Yeah.
really really interesting.
We gotta start heading the same way the professor.
So everybody looks like they're ready to leave. Heidi, it's really funny is that nobody else has looked around for the sky.
Yep.
I found a feather. Why would I look anywhere else?
Yeah, so Heidi did indeed come up here to discern what the heck happened. She's gonna see if she can like find the tree, get the vantage from here, see if there's any possible way he could have fallen from this building. But like bird, right?
It is. It's very it's very easy to tell that no, he did not get dropped from this building.
Hmm.
Because you can see the tree from the roof, and the angle is all wrong.
Aside from the feather, are there any other signs that something alive was up here? Perhaps
You can make me an investigation check.
I'm not very good at that, but we'll see. No.
I mean, Ken got a 2 on a skill of 7.
Well, alas, I got a 40 on a skill of 7.
That's probably a 9.
So unfortunately, you see nothing.
Hmm.
Beyond the obvious, of course, since you knew to check the tree, the angle is definitely all wrong. You're not seeing any evidence of, other than, the evidence of the group having walked around on the roof.
Mm-hmm.
Bob's obviously crazy.
Do you call us back or do you just let us leave?
She probably just lets you leave.
Darn,
Like,
okay.
what? Well, do you look back to see her not following you?
Nope.
Sorry.
Ken doesn't.
Yeah, actually, she probably does because she knows that the professor has already left. And there's really to her like she has tunnel vision now, so there's no reason to stay. But she'll look back to see if the janitor is staying behind.
She's looking. She's got like one hand on her hip, the other like in an L shape, like under her chin, looking very perplexed. Like she's thinking about something.
Oh God. Alexis is gonna absently, without thinking about it, like grab Ken's arm and be like, "Hey, wait 1 second."
Yeah, all right. Just hanging out in the stairwell in the female dorm. What could go wrong?
Mrs. Bäcker? Is everything okay?
It just doesn't add up.
A mystery.
He did not fall from this roof. He didn't. There's
She's
no way
immediately gonna go back. What do you mean? What do you mean he didn't fall from this roof?
Look at where we are, where he is, and the tree.
Interesting.
Yeah. So he would have had to have like jumped off the roof and then immediately made like a 75-degree turn in order for the angle to make any kind of sense.
Interesting.
At his level of physical fitness, without outside interference, there's no way. You said that there is an unidentified feather that you had, Mr. Kenneth?
Oh, Ken's down in the stairwell. He got told to wait a second.
Oh, there was a feather.
I mean, Ken's probably at the top of the stairs, so he could hear them if he wanted to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a feather, and then he said something about a nautilus shell with a similar feather or something like that. That's where we were headed to. He was going to take me to look at that when I realized you weren't following us. Did you find anything else on the roof that could help us?
No, but I'm beginning to piece together something that I don't want to.
Okay. May I look around? May I investigate the roof? I missed anything you just said.
All right. Sure, go ahead. I believe you did not roll very well the first time, right?
Who, me?
Yes. Or have you already? I don't remember. Have you rolled investigation on the roof?
I rolled it for the feather, and it was a high result.
She didn't roll to actually find anything herself.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, just go ahead and roll me investigation then.
That is a medium result.
All right. You can tell, as I mentioned, that if he were to have fallen from this roof, he would have literally had to have changed direction midair, which is physically impossible. With the feather, that means that either if something was carrying him, it is possible with the way the breeze is blowing, the feather got blown onto the roof. In fact, when you're looking at the angle of his fall, based on the direction he fell, he was headed in the direction of the sports complex. That's your best guess. Like based on the angle of fall, he fell from midair, but the direction he's pointed at, where the branches and everything broke, point in the direction of the sports complex.
I will share that information with Mrs. Bäcker, and Ken if he has come back onto the roof. He wasn't picked up here. He wasn't on this roof at all. I think they flew over this roof and then he was dropped.
Oh dear.
A real big bird then.
Do you know anything about birds? The marks on his back and his shoulder, like doesn't seem like any kind of large bird indigenous to this area, or one that I would have even heard about. How familiar are you with bird species, Ken?
Heidi.
GM, can I make a roll here? I think you know which one I'm trying to. Under anthropology, so Kit can stop living in pain.
Yes. Please feel free to make a roll. However, since Ken is making a leap of logic, let's give you a -10 to your archaeology. Make it a little harder on you.
Why not? That's fine. Woo!
I didn't mean to interrupt you, Gray. What were you going to say?
Something.
They have forgotten.
Sorry.
It's gone.
Let's see. With a minus
If you forget,
10,
it did really
takes
better.
it to 42. And I roll.
I mean, just plug the number -10 into the little chart thing. It'll tell
No,
you.
that wasn't what I was doing. I was seeing if I wanted to spend the luck to fix that.
Oh, what'd you get?
I got a 58, which is over 42 after the minus 10.
To get a low result, then you're looking at spending 16 points.
Yeah, so you know what? Screw it. Why not? Why would I need to be lucky later?
Why would you?
We won't need luck to avoid imminent danger at all. We're not
You
about
know what
to
you
go to
should
the
get
sports
yourself?
complex for pain at all.
Tenure.
All right, so I will get that to a low result.
One
I
day
had
having to be head
tenure.
janitor, that's basically tenure.
I mean, so with a low result, Ken's like, well, there's a couple of things it could be. Given the Greek ties and the ties to Poseidon, he's got a very he's got a guess.
Can I make my guess then?
Yes, go ahead.
Cool. Well, you know, if it's like Poseidon and ocean and shells and a big bird, like Greek sirens are big birds. And ladies. Ladybirds? No, that's a bug.
Yeah, but those aren't real. I was looking for a real.
How many birds do you know that are real that are big enough to pick up Bob?
Nothing native to here.
Yeah.
I've seen some pretty big eagles, but they can't pick up like Bob.
Yeah, but I mean, come on now. Really? That cannot be what's going on here. That's ridiculous. We need an actual answer to this.
What did we see?
Hold
the
up the
sports
big
complex?
feather. It's like,
What did we see in the sports complex yesterday? And what did we see now?
Right, but I mean there has to be a logical explanation for this. Like there has to be
I'm
maybe
not-
a bird that we're just not thinking of. Maybe
I mean-
it migrated here on accident. I don't know. But
Perhaps.
you want to see the shell with the bird stuff on it, or no? Are we not doing that anymore?
We
go ahead.
both is good. You said that it was likely pointing towards the sports complex?
Yeah, where the pools are.
Yeah, it looked like either he was headed in that direction. Was he headed in that direction when he was picked up, or that's the direction the bird was flying?
As far as you can tell, if he got dropped, forward momentum is what carried him through the tree.
Okay. Yeah, I would like to see the shell, but I think maybe we need to look at the sports complex again.
We will,
as well.
as a group, I believe it is prudent to look at the shell. But first, it would be remiss of us to not go to the sports complex. Perhaps if we are quick, we can track down Cuthbert. And the two of you should.
Do we have to? I mean, do we really need him?
I mean, he's
He has
going
a
where we're
crossbow.
going.
He has a crossbow.
That is a very good point.
Also, if we're grabbing everybody, shouldn't we grab Bob then?
He is.
I repeat my
injured.
other question.
Miss Fletcher, be nice.
Yes, ma'am.
So, are the three of you going downstairs?
Yes.
Yes.
Excellent.
We're
All right,
going
I'm going to cut over. I'm going to cover to the other two. They're downstairs. Professor Cropper, you have arrived at the downstairs, not having noticed that you were not followed.
Yep.
And the EMTs seem to have finished their testing with Evans, or as the rest of us know him, Bob Ivan. There's a little bit of pain Bob Ivan from the fall, but it doesn't feel like anything's broken. They check some of your, they check the ribs to see if they're loose or anything like that. You seem to be fine. If a little cut up, not deep enough to require any kind of stitches. So they're willing to like bind the wound for you, and they're just like, dude, just take some over the counter pain meds. You'll be fine.
I got some
Unless you unless you absolutely want to go to the hospital, they're willing to let you not go. You're an adult. You're allowed to tell them I don't want to go to the hospital, and they have to listen to you.
No, I'll be fine. If this is superficial stuff, I'm not worried about it, and I don't seem to have anything else that might be broken. I'm not concussed. Thank God for the tree that broke.
Yeah, the tree definitely broke your fall. They're willing to give you some light pain meds, aka something you can get over the counter, but they're not willing to give you anything stronger than that. Yeah, pretty much.
Cool. I will take their Tylenol, walk over to the cafe, and get my cup of coffee.
Yeah, you're not going to the cafe by the time the professor arrives. But they're basically packing up, getting ready to leave when the professor arrives on scene.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah, just be careful. It's got to be some weird stunt that got you to go through that tree like that. Next time, don't try to hang glide off a roof. We assume the hang glider got taken away by the wind, so
Yeah, no. It was one of the senior freshmen's ideas, and I just thought it was great because I hadn't slept in 2 days. So
more sleep. Can we leave him in your care, Professor?
What?
We leave this young man in your care, this gentleman in your care.
Yeah, no, we're fine. Thank you.
All right, so they vacate.
Impression, go.
Like talking about how weird it is. How they're talking about as they walk away, you'll notice they're talking about how weird it is that an older student would be trying to hand glide in the middle of the school when there's not enough height to actually do anything. They would have expected you to go higher up the mountain.
Cuthbert is still talking to Kenneth.
Excellent. Kenneth is not there.
He's not being followed. And he's going on a rambling thing of now there's two primary schools of thought at this point. There's harpies and there's sirens, both of them being of the Greek origin. The harpies have more of the oily consistency of the feather, but the sirens, there's the singing in the water. Let's go watch the horn. Mr. Kane, make sure that you're keeping an eye on Evans to make sure. And she just keeps on walking. And
Professor.
Yes, Evans.
Whom are you talking to? I thought it was me, but you just said Mr. Kane, and he's not here.
Yeah, Mr. Kane and Miss Fletcher and
No one is behind you, Professor. It's just myself.
Oh, they'll catch up. Come on, to the archaeology department.
Okay.
He's gone. He's off like a rock. You can follow if you want, but he's figured out the clue in the point and click adventure and is not being dissuaded by anything.
Fine. I'll get that swill elsewhere.
I mean, there's as much as nobody wants to admit it, the archaeology department has like a little break room that has a coffee maker.
What do you mean doesn't want to admit it? Every person I've ever met involved in college is 100% willing to admit their caffeine addiction.
No. The archaeology department doesn't want to admit they have a coffee maker in their break room because they don't want people trying to invade it when they can't find coffee elsewhere.
Fair enough. That I'll believe.
They're trying to keep their coffee maker a secret.
The second I smell it, though, I will take it to my grave. It doesn't leave my lips, but I will be drinking all of their coffee available.
I'm going to need to know how many cups you're drinking so I can keep track.
He never did get the other 3 from the end of last session, by the way.
Yeah, no, I never.
So he's still a 5.
Oh darn! Okay. Well, we're gonna make up with. We're just gonna make up for that with the.
Yeah.
What's happening right now?
Cups of coffee that'll be ready made when he gets there.
Yeah, we're gonna say that makes up the difference.
So the 3 of you that are heading downstairs can take the elevator because now Ken is being escorted by ladies, it's less weird for him to be taking the elevator.
Didn't once consider what was happening weird.
He did not, of course. He was getting extra credit. So by the time the three of you have reached the downstairs, you can see the professor like beelining his way to the archaeology department, followed by Bob Ivan, who is, while walking at a decent clip, he is definitely not running because you can tell he's still dealing with a bit of pain. Professor will outrun him very quickly if nobody stops the professor.
Professor, slow down.
Accurate. Keep up, Evans.
I
Professor
haven't even
Cropper,
had my
I would
coffee.
Professor Cropper, I would do well. You would do well to remind yourself that this is an injured student. Slow down.
How you doing, Bob? You doing good?
Oh, good. You've caught up. Oh yeah. I'll be fine once I get some coffee and this Advil in me, and be fine.
Miss Evans, was it?
Ivan? It's Ivan. If you have to call me anything, Ivan.
In
Bob
what
Bob
world?
will do. Bob Ivan. Bob Ivan. Herald. You can even call me by my last name, Herald. Dr. Herald, almost. In another month and a half now.
Why is he calling you Evans?
It's tenure. He doesn't care.
I see. Mr. Ivans, then. You are well
Ivan.
now?
Yes, I'm fine. Just need a little bit of meds and some sleep.
All right, we're gonna go look at this cool show.
Yep.
So
They have,
just mentioned briefly.
Yeah.
His injury has been rebandaged, by the way.
Yeah.
Much,
We're gonna see if we can't find out.
Much better than the like patch job that only a mom could do.
Yeah, but the patch job you did was with lesser supplies than what the EMTs were using.
Mm-hmm.
Like, check out this feather. We think it's from the bird that dropped you.
That's
Bird person.
Now that you
Okay.
think about it, now that you're coherent and no longer being fussed over, Bob Ivan, you remember hearing the sound of the singing, and it was very, very close to you before you got dropped.
I think it was a siren, but they said that's not real. But I don't know of any birds big enough that are like would be nearby or anywhere. How big
does
are
this
the
look-
birds in Germany?
Does this look? Can I investigate this myself?
Give it an investigation check.
Obviously, German birds are the greatest in the world.
I probably will fail this, but why not? Let me have a look at this feather. Hey, I didn't fail that at all. That's a high success.
Woo!
If I'm correct, I have a 65 in invest. That's a 17. It's well under it. By 30 points? No, 50 points.
It's a high success.
Yes.
It's a high success, yes. Yeah.
Excellent. We're good to go. Yeah, this is from what you can tell, having no context to what everybody else is talking about. This is a feather from an aquatic bird of prey. Just based on the style, you're not exactly learned in biological
Birds.
sciences and birds, so you have no idea how to identify which one it is, but you've seen enough feathers to be able to tell. Like, this looks like this looks like it could be any one of those many birds that fish for food.
Like an eagle or an osprey, or
Probably closer to an osprey, or I can never remember the name of those stupid birds that will literally dive underwater to
Heron.
yeah, kingfish. Well, not
Heron
quite a
is
heron.
herons.
I was gonna say it's a bird that's about the size of a duck, that you'll see that dives under the water to catch fish.
Seagull? A seagull.
Yes, you were
Seagulls do
killed
that.
by you were almost killed by a
Seagulls
seagull.
kinda-
You
was
almost
picked
killed by
up
a giant seagull. Amazing.
Clearly, you
So,
look too much like fries.
I was like, apparently I must be greasy.
Believe it or not, this is in
Covered in
fact
salt.
just a supernatural version of the Untitled Goose Game.
You know.
Oh no! Oh no!
We're all
no.
doomed.
So I'll hand you back this feather, and I go, this is definitely an aquatic feather.
Yeah.
I'd say maybe like a seagull, an osprey would be more appropriate given the claws. But as
Is-
far as legendary mythologies, a harpy would fit that bill quite well. They
Okay,
sing
Bill.
and they're
We're
able to
delving-
lift people,
We're
supposedly
delving
in mythology.
We're delving into
Sirens
fantasy
sing.
now, are we?
Sirens
Well-
are kind of famous for singing.
Weren't we just talking about mythology? So I'm just saying on the mythology, and a harpy would be suitable to that. They have feathers, where
I'm sure that
sirens
there's
don't.
I'm sure that there's a perfectly logical, legible, real solution, or
An
like,
osprey
or
picked me up.
explanation. Perhaps it was a migratory bird, or something escaped an enclosure.
Exactly.
A giant osprey. Like
African or European swallow.
So you've moved on from the drama department, putting on a random show in the woods, to a giant osprey. Just so I'm understanding things correctly.
By the way,
Well-
another bird that could fit is a cormorant.
Mm.
Ooh, there you go. A cormorant might also be the predator to this. I'm just giving out ideas.
Perhaps an animal sanctuary or some sort of zoo had had a breakout.
Exactly.
I'm sure it'll show up in the
How much
papers
do you weigh,
tomorrow.
Evans?
That's a good question. How much do I weigh? I don't have that down on my sheet, do I?
It's because it's not normally important for this game.
I'll say with the years of living a college life and working himself to literal death on caffeine alone, he's probably like 250. Easy. About 250? Give or take some change, you know. Haven't had the coffee yet this morning, so
That bird would have to be extraordinarily strong.
I got a hoppy.
Sane
Copies or
answer.
sirens,
Oh,
Mr. Evans?
Well,
Are you sure you don't
I-
have
I'm
a
sorry.
concussion?
My money's
I
on
do
sirens.
not
They
know.
sing.
Here we go.
I do not know a living biological bird that is currently present within our realm of reality that could actually lift 250 pounds. None can.
This
50
cannot-
pounds, sure. I have heard of death devils and EF 1 to 0 tornadoes spiking just long enough to pick a full-grown man my size, if not 3 times my size, up and throw it very far. And that's
All
more
of us-
plausible than this bird.
But all of us would have been able to tell. Look at the weather. Feel the wind. There is none.
I understand. It's just the only other explanation that makes more sense than the bird.
I presume that we've been walking this entire time. How close
Yes.
are we to getting
Yeah.
to the archaeology department?
You're actually fairly close.
I'm
Uh,
taking
Gloves,
this
Mr.
Advil.
Kane. Gloves.
They're inside. I don't have them on me.
I don't know when we get to there. You know.
Yeah, he's apparently
Um,
reminding you. Which, by the way, he's got the keys to the archaeology department because the building is locked on the weekends.
And by the way, to answer everyone else's question, The largest bird of prey can currently hold a maximum of 8 pounds. That is the golden eagle. So extrapolating. Damn big bird. Follow.
Damn big bird.
I
It's
thought harpy
off.
eagles could lift more than that.
Well, probably. Hold on.
It's 40 pounds, the max ever recorded.
Okay.
I was gonna say, isn't there a variety of eagle that literally picks up goats and then drops them off mountains?
Either way,
Golden
This is
eagles
why I
will
said
take out,
50.
does as well. Yeah. Anyway, yes. So yeah, basically going to march down into the archaeology and start pulling out the shell, and would like to do a roll about it. Whatever you want to give me. I'd love it to be an antiques roll. That'd be fantastic.
God damn it! Okay, so the first thing I want you to do is I want you to make me a perception check, Professor.
Okey-dokey.
what do you see with your tenured eyes?
What your tenured eyes see? That is going to be medium result.
Excellent. So the case in which the Nautilus shell is supposed to be in is open when you get there.
Mr. Kane,
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you this once.
Mm-hmm.
Did you take the horn?
No? Why would I do that?
Mr. Kane?
Yes.
If I ask you if you've played Indiana Jones up and down the hallways of this department when you thought no one else was around, what would you respond?
I would never play Indiana Jones.
I will go check the case.
So,
All
Ken,
right,
this is the
but-
second date? How'd your first date go, buddy?
I think it went pretty good.
So, the horn is not there.
I assume that are associated files with, like
Yes.
pictures and that kind of stuff when we received it.
Yes,
Are they
yes, there
there?
are. Yes, they are.
Okay. This is concerning.
There has been a theft.
Um,
Do you have any sort of sign out sheet?
Oh, you can't sign this stuff out.
A theft it has been.
Now here's the thing. I have keys into the archaeology department. Was the case itself under lock and key?
Yes. All of
And
the
who has
artifacts
access
are
to-
under lock and key.
Okay, who has access to those keys?
The researchers, the head of the archaeology department, and you, who have tenure.
I do have tenure.
But
In case
Wouldn't there-
people weren't aware.
Tenure.
Tenure.
In-
I am going to grab the associated files and go, we have a problem. Please close the door behind you. And I'm going to start basically... Like, there's a side eye at Alexis. And then I start pulling out the files and, like, like laying out the pictures. But yes, just looking it over and basically seeing what, like, trying to track down like the remnants of the feathers, also with the like actual looking at the actual carvings that are on the.
So, anybody who's examining the pictures, I want you to make me an investigation check.
Oh, Alexis is over his shoulder.
Yeah,
Looking.
we'll see if I can pass.
Could I make
I could
any
use
other
luck.
sort type of roll besides investigation?
You, unfortunately, without having the object physically in your possession, can only make an investigation check.
Oh, kisses.
No.
Well, this is going to end terribly. I am distraught.
I
Is that a
am
medium?
in too much pain.
I am very much distraught. I super failed that.
I'm gonna use.
Also, can I smell coffee?
Yeah, there's a break room. Go.
Yeah, you would be distracted by the smell of coffee. It's perfectly fine.
I'm gone.
I'm going to
Immediately.
Well,
5
let's
left.
just say that you unfortunately have, on your quest for coffee, are interrupted yet again as the door to the archaeology department unlocks and is opened. And we're going to take a quick break here. We'll say 10 minutes. Come back at 45 after before I reveal
Me
who's
without my
opening the door.
crossbow.
We're back. Real quick before I turn it back over to Grim, I just wanted to remind everybody that we are doing a raffle for our spooky season anniversary month. Hashtag spooky snacks in the chat will get you an entry. You get 2 per game this month for every game that we're running. Also, stop by tomorrow for Billy Berserker, Kender Mage. He's amazing. He's going to run a Savage Worlds game, Tome of Zeltan. I think I said that right. If I didn't, he'll yell at me later. It's first thing in the morning. I actually don't know what time it is. He didn't tell me. I got you, Rezin. It's like 9 or 10 in the morning, I think.
10.
Central? 10 Central?
Central.
Okay.
10 Central.
It's going to be a lot of fun. He's amazing. He knows so much about Savage Worlds. You should check it out. With that, make sure you get your entries in tonight, and then you can get more in tomorrow morning. Anyway, I'm going to turn it back over to Grim.
Excellent. So, yes, welcome back. The group is in the archaeology department, and poor Bob Ivan has once again been thwarted on his attempt to get coffee this morning. As somebody most of you are familiar with, you've at least seen pictures of this person if you haven't met them. The Dean of Admissions walks through the door, closes it behind her, and then locks it.
Sorry, Dean. We were just leaving.
No, you were just taking a seat. We have many things to discuss.
Yes. Could we have a seat with coffee?
This most likely won't take long.
Okay,
I think you can wait a few more minutes for your, 6th cup of coffee, Mr. Herald?
I have not had a cup this morning. Yet.
Cuthbert reaches into an inner pocket in his jacket and pulls out a piece of paper. And when he unfolds it, it's a photocopy of his certificate of tenure.
Yeah, that's fine. I would like to point out the Dean of Admissions is one of the people who's been here longer than the professor. She is a septuagenarian. For those of you who know what that means, that should give you an idea.
70s.
These 7 orangutans.
Yeah.
Absolutely is.
She looks over at Heidi and says, "Mrs. Bäcker, you must thank your husband for me for the gift of chocolates for my and my husband's 40th wedding anniversary."
Oh, of course. He's so thoughtful like that, isn't he? Her rings.
I believe we have things to discuss, and you should all take a seat.
No, she'll Heidi will go into the corner where there's like extra stacked chairs. She'll bring a few over.
For those of you who don't remember the post that I put in, and for the edification of the audience, the Dean of Admissions is Mrs. Samantha Woodrow, a woman who is currently 74 years old, but looks like she's in her 50s. She has the severe bun with her salt and pepper hair. She's wearing a very smart pencil skirt business suit in gray to sort of match her hair with a black shirt. And she is definitely not a woman most students want to fuck with,
Mm.
because
Your name
she
again
has
was.
Samantha Woodrow.
Mm.
What seems to be the problem? Sir?
Well, I would more like to ask what the problem is that you're dealing with. It's unusual that a random collection of members of the university would be investigating something on my campus without me noticing.
Um, why is it any of your business that we're all hanging out?
Young lady, remember who you're speaking to.
I'm
Miss
just
Fletcher.
curious. I'm so sorry. I'm just curious. We're all here with a professor, perhaps getting extra lessons, getting, you know, tutoring, if you will. I don't understand why you think it's suspicious.
I misread Row.
Hello, Kenneth. Well, Miss Fletcher, and I do believe that you're all doing an independent investigation, as I am well aware that 98%, 99% of residents and regulars of the university would not be investigating an unusual song.
Well, I would ask again, why is that a problem if we're doing an independent investigation trying to help people? Do you have something to
So
hide?
you can hear the song too.
You hear the song.
Of course I do.
I thought we agreed that the song was a figment of our imaginations.
No, you agreed that. The rest of us did not.
Oh no, the song is very real.
Oh, sure, yes, very real.
We have each heard it twice now. Do
It's
you
mass hallucination.
Do you know
he has a
what it
concussion.
is?
Just ignore him.
You do realize I'm a psychiatrist. and that-
No, I realize you're a student trying to be a psychiatrist. You're not there yet, friend.
I'm much further along than you are.
I'm not trying to
And
be
y-
anything I'm
and you can
not.
you could be
Children!
expelled from here. Yes,
Samantha.
yes, Professor.
Yes.
If you can hear the song, then that makes that there's. But Cuthbert, you stupid idiot. There's 6 of us. Then we can all look into this together.
Oh, I my days of investigating are behind me. This is not the first time something unusual has happened at this university, nor will it be the last. In fact, this isn't even the 100th time something unusual has happened here. I would like to give you a bit of history of the school. Most of these are rumors. Some of them are true. Yes, Mrs. Bäcker.
No, just making noises.
Ah, okay. Yeah, well, she's still you making noises. She would still address you, and then like I imagine it's like the shake of the head to like no, I don't have anything to say.
Mhm.
As far back as memory serves, Hunter Blackwood University has been a source of unusual events, most of which go unnoticed by the majority of the nearby residents of Wrightsville, as well as the students who make their lives here for several years. But there are a select few who see these events, usually investigate them, and deal with them. I am currently the head of an organization that does these investigations. So, lo and behold, my surprise when a professor who's been here for 2 events, actually, probably more like 4, I was. Anyway, several events you have been here for, but you have not, prior to this one, made any sort of moves to indicate that you knew what was going on. I would like for the professor to pick your highest stat and roll it for me.
That would be luck.
Yes, please.
How appropriate.
Tenure, don't fail me now.
He has named his luck.
Oh,
Hold on. We're close. I think this is my first time I actually spend luck points. Yeah, it's only 8 points. Absolutely. I'll spend those. It's a low success, but it's still a success.
Excellent. So a low success is enough for you to have a recollection of a moment in which you were walking through the campus. And then in the middle of the evening, when students were returning to their dorms from classes, going out to get dinner, other teachers were, heading home, staff, things like that, you distinctly remember the noise, the life of the university not being present anymore. And you had the feeling that something was following you. Other than that, the rest of it is a blur, but you do distinctly remember that.
I think this ties into Cuthbert's wonderful paranoia. So as those memories are flooding back, for whatever value they're flooding back to, he who never actually really sat down, is still standing behind the desk, is just backed against the wall at this point, staring at her.
Yes, during your encounter, we had a group investigating an event. You stumbled upon it and seemed none the wiser afterwards. You happen to be one of the lucky ones who stumbled upon it. Each of you has actually had an encounter of the close kind, I believe. Each of you would have had some sort of encounter of the unusual in your past. Anyone who wants to can make a roll with your highest stat. You just need to succeed.
or I have successfully strength.
Did you muscle your way into remembering the supernatural?
I have successfully agility'd.
I have high results succeeded a perception.
Okay, so for those of you
Low
who have
willpower.
for those of you who actually rolled, with the exception of Rezin, who didn't give me an event, feel free to describe the event your character ran into in their past that was a supernatural event.
Anybody want to go first?
Sure, I'll go ahead and go
Get roll
first. Yeah, why not? You know what? I always was so sure. I went on this ghost tour, and we were going through like this haunted like house. Obviously, it's haunted. It's ghost tour. That's how it goes. And we took the pictures and we saw the orbs, and I just knew that there was, and I could feel this presence, and that was like I always
Oh
knew
my
something was
God.
there.
Kenneth,
Oh.
no.
Oh, right. By the way, I have a quick question for you, ma'am. Does this mean you know where the warehouse is?
Before that question gets answered, let's move on to
Yeah,
the
yeah.
person who rolled next. I believe after Kitkage actually rolled.
Yep.
One time when I was hiking later in the evening than I should have, my husband was away. You see, my daughter was out. I came across what I believed to be a deer. It was large, but it looked wrong. Not. Its eyes were forward facing. Predators. And it just watched. Before it looked away and left. I went home soon after that. It was just a deer. It was just a deer.
I believe Isabet's rolled next, and a 20 is most likely a success.
Oh yeah, no, it's a high success. I get hired for my services. I'm a very good photographer. I know how to use video equipment. And at times I get hired. That's how I make a little bit of extra money. And I was hired by this group. It was utterly ridiculous. However, it was money, and that's all I really cared about. I had to do a paranormal investigation with them. I went to a supposed haunted house. I set up my equipment. I took some pictures. It was an older house. There was a lot of, creepy sounds, but I mean, it's just a house settling. They read way too much into this. Looking back on the video footage that I took and the pictures that I took, and I would like to stress this is when I was starting out, and I was not as good as I am now. So I must have made a mistake when I was developing the film, and maybe my cameras weren't, clean as they, maybe there was something on the screen. There was little things that showed up in the pictures and on the video, but again, I think it was a mistake on my part, and I have since learned my lesson, and nothing like that has ever happened. So I really feel like it was just a mistake again on my part. They were very excited about it. They had all sorts of theories and, oh my goodness, we caught a spirit, whatever. It was just my mistake.
Excellent. So for the only person who didn't tell me what was going on with their supernatural event, I'm going to go ahead and let you know what you experienced.
Yep.
One night when you went to go visit your family, you had gone out drinking with some of your old high school friends, and on your way home, rather than walk, you decided to hail a cab. The cab that pulled up had something unusual. It wasn't the normal bright yellow with the checkerboard that your hometown uses. This one was an older fashioned car, like something you'd see in the 50s. And it was it was a black car with a little taxi thing on top. And you couldn't shake the feeling that if you got into that car, you wouldn't make it home. So you started running, and the car followed you. And you ran corners and did other things to lose it, went down alleyways. But it seemed like every time you came out to the street, the taxi would be there with the door open, waiting for you. The worst part is you couldn't tell if there was a driver. But at some point, you heard a voice say, "Get in. We'll take you where you need to go." And that's the last time you remember seeing the taxi after you ran around yet another corner. By the way, for all of you, with the recounting of these stories, all of them except Kenneth seem absolutely unnerving.
Yeah.
So yes, reason you encountered the taxi to hell, just to let you know.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yes, I encountered something I could not explain once when I was starting here.
Samantha? What is happening?
Yes.
to these-
Well, we believe that whatever it is that's on campus is doing what these things normally do. Anytime a man-eating beast of legend appears, people go missing. We haven't figured out why, but the human mind tends to explain away the disappearances and the unnatural events and the earthquakes that aren't supposed to happen. No one seems the wiser, except a select few. Those select few usually offer a position within our organization, which will give you access to our libraries and some of our other abilities. that go beyond the norm of human skill.
Told you guys it was sirens.
I can't.
Could also be Harpy.
I could hardly believe this.
It's not really a time for I told you so.
I mean, I don't get to do it very often,
That's
so I
fair,
got to
no,
take my time.
Absolutely.
I am the current head of the Scholarly Paranormal and Occult Opposition Force. I didn't name it. Otherwise known as S.P.O.O.F.
Uh,
Ugh.
Mr. K, please.
Well,
what?
We're being serious.
I feel like I've
I'm
been
being very
spoofed.
serious. I'm being very serious. Why wouldn't I be serious?
Did
These are the
you-
guys who own the warehouse.
The guys who own the warehouse?
Yeah. You know, the big warehouse with the cardboard boxes you send the Ark of the Covenant to?
No.
Yes! That's
No,
literally
No,
what's
that
happening.
place doesn't exist.
The
Talking about a
What?
museum.
What warehouse are
Where
we
does-
talking about, Ken? Can you take me there?
By the way,
She's
She's
by the
never
way,
seen
when
Indiana
when he
Jones.
says that warehouse doesn't exist, the expression on the dean's face goes from like mildly indulgent to like surprised.
You're thinking of a museum warehouse where sometimes they hold antiquities before they display them.
It's like that,
Samantha,
but
where-
different because they never get
where's the
displayed.
show?
Sure.
I don't know.
Oh, we should find that.
You should. It is apparently very important to this current state of affairs.
So is some coffee.
Oh, it can wait.
No, it cannot wait. I have been up since 4 a.m. and I need at least a cup to get me through, or the headache is going to be killing me.
You might need to cut back on your caffeine, man.
I don't have time to cut back on caffeine. I have a dissertation to get through.
Which is why I'm surprised you're participating in this investigation.
As am I. I've been dragged through this out of sheer curiosity.
And because a siren picked you up and dropped you.
Or Hoppy, or some sort of osprey, wind, etc.
Either way, it is quite clear that we're all involved now.
Yes.
Indeed.
It's too late.
Unfortunately, the other agents of S.P.O.O.F are currently indisposed or simply not here. Otherwise, I would assign you a senior member to assist.
So then you'll
Said
be
your
assisting
resources
us?
No, I
We're
am
on our own.
much too old to be investigating.
Would you not then be the most senior investigator?
She's attempting to tell us that we're on our own.
Unfortunately,
Well,
that is in fact the case.
Samantha, you said there was a resource.
Yes. There are resources to those who prove themselves useful to the organization.
How about resources to help us not have anyone else die?
Is it tenure? Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
Go get your coffee, Mr. Herald.
You don't happen to
Thank
have
you.
the
But
names.
do come back.
You don't happen to have the names of the other members, do you? For no particular reason.
She just kind of stares at you for a minute and then goes back to like her conversation with the professor. Yes, there are a few things I can provide in terms of aid. However, I don't have enough information as to what's going on. I am not a member who normally works as a researcher. At this point, I have been relegated to administration.
Hmm.
This would be the 7th event that I am aware of that has occurred on campus. There are many, many more that I only hear of after the fact. Unfortunately, not every member is aware of every occurrence. And um, to the professor's knowledge, Samantha was a student here, so she's basically been part of the university since she was 18, and she is now 72. If you count her time
What
here as a
resources-
student and her time here as a teacher, she is definitely outranking you in time.
And
That's
tenure.
very fair, but there are people
Well,
dying.
That's more than one event per decade. This happens often.
well, I can give you access to the library for you to do research. In fact, there are spoof libraries in all of the branches of the libraries here. You need a specific key, one that is not available to the janitors. Although I'm assuming the head janitor gave you the keys to the full set of keys to the university, Mrs. Becker.
Yes, he did.
Excellent. That was at my request.
I see.
She will reach into her coat pocket, and if any of you know anything about ladies' fashion, those pockets are tiny. And she pulls out a small black key that looks like it's made out of. It looks like it's made out of some kind of metal that's been painted over. And it looks very, very old. And she hands it to Heidi.
It's going on the holster.
I expect that key to be returned to me once your investigation is complete.
In mint condition, of course.
If I gave it to you in mint condition, I would expect it back in mint condition. That key has seen much usage. If you want to access the library closest, it would be the one in the main library. Go down into the stacks in the basement. Behind the rear shelf, well, next to the shelves, all the way in the back, you will find a picture of the founder. At the lower left corner of the picture frame, there's a keyhole that fits this key that will open up a door to take you into the spoof stacks. And while you were here investigating, I did check into it, and apparently the pool was uncovered again. It was reported to me that yesterday's incidents. Now, good luck with your investigations. I will provide what little information I can, but this is all the aid I can give you, at least at the moment. If anybody wants to, you can try to. I gotta see what skill would be most appropriate, but you can try to verify if she's lying to you or not, if you choose to.
That be savoir faire.
I would like that.
Did you know that they have Arabica beans? Arabica beans. Oh,
So
I'm very,
you can
very
roll.
impressed.
You can roll savoir faire or personality,
What about
whichever one is
investigation?
higher for you. Investigation would also work.
Okay, I would like to do that then.
Doing savoir faire.
Now it's my best
It
shot.
does not matter. Wait, no, I can spend exactly 3 luck points to pass.
Yep.
I still pass,
no, I
but
won't
it's
do it.
low.
I will not do it.
I got a higher result.
All right. ability to be a real life Indiana Jones.
I'm down immediately for this. I knew it was all true, and they were just perfect. This is great.
Those of you who passed, she is not lying to you. Those of you who failed, you're not sure. I know for Mrs. Bäcker, the Dean of Admissions has never once lied to you.
Mm-hmm.
So you would have to go based off of your previous interactions, even though you have no idea whether or not she's telling you the truth.
Mm.
Including the fact that she sent your family a thank you letter for the gift your husband sent her.
Yeah. Like, I think Heidi is mostly held back by the fact that, yes, this is validating if true, but also incredibly terrifying considering her daughter goes here.
Yep. You've worked here for a long time.
Like,
In fact,
her daughter just turned 20. Like, she's in her second year here. Like, this is scary.
it's definitely scary. And for those of you who've lived in town for more than a decade, you can remember a couple of times where people were talking about how some students transferred to other schools abruptly, or like residents decided to move away, or just skipped town and left all their possessions at home. God damn it. Sorry, my mouse is going bad. I was supposed to get a replacement today, but Amazon had some issues delivering.
Mm.
Technical difficulties, everyone.
Also, hashtag spooky snacks in the chat. Don't forget to put in your hashtag spooky snacks.
Hashtag Ken was right all.
Hashtag Kit is the real Indiana Jones.
Hashtag this is the only time Ken will ever be right.
Miss Fletcher.
All right, there we go. I turned off push to talk, so I don't have to use my mouse anymore.
There we go. I assume that you have ins to gain access to the security cameras.
I don't know that I can answer that question.
My lawyers have advised me.
The answer to that is yes, but the answer to that is yes, but it's up to you whether or not you tell him you do.
I think
We need to find out who stole the Nautilus shell.
right, but I also need to not be kicked out of school. So, for me to have this conversation with you, I'm going to need some sort of assurance that you are not going to narc on me and get me kicked out.
Miss Fletcher, I don't give a flying fuck about the school. Fuck about the students who are dying.
Language.
Tenure.
I can already
Fire me
picture
if they
Heidi
want
doing
to.
that whole like.
Mrs. Bäcker, please accompany me so I tell me the stacks.
I might have means to get what you're looking for. However, I would like to do it without you or Mrs. Bäcker. And I will. We can meet up, and I will tell you what I found out.
Yeah. The sooner we get this done, the less people die.
Do you need help
No.
or assistance?
It's better if I get
You
this
could always
information
take
on my own.
Ken.
As much as I detest saying this, detest the encouragement of any of this, I do not go alone. We have seen already consequences of not being around another. And she's just going to gesture at Bob Ivan.
And
Okay,
I
let's
did
mix them
do a
up with
fair
it.
bit of journalism before you entered this school, Miss Beckett. Not to the degree that you have, but I do have a
Who's
little
Miss
bit of
Beckett?
it. I don't know. I'm
Miss Fletcher. We're
lost.
talking to
It's
Alexis.
just Fletcher.
Alexis.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I need names.
This is not a journalism project. This is something else entirely. This is a different set of. It doesn't matter. Ken,
Uh-huh.
you were friends with a lot of people on this campus. How about you come with me and maybe you can be of some assistance?
Sure, I can do that.
Okay.
We gotta stop. I gotta grab
Wonderful.
something real quick though.
No,
But we can totally
that's
do
totally
that.
fine. That's totally fine. I think, Bob Ivan, I think maybe your research skills might better help Professor Cropper and Miss.
Oh yes,
Mrs.
no,
Thacker.
no, absolutely.
But I appreciate the offer. I do. It's just it's not a journalism thing. It's something else that I don't really want to talk about. Ken, shall we go?
How
We should go.
long
Sure.
do you expect this to
bef-
take? When should we meet and where?
I would say, just to be generous, 2 hours.
Cafe shop then?
I mean, why don't we just meet you guys at the library? That's
Library?
research is the part that takes the most
Li-
time.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
library. Then,
We'll come
hours.
find you when we're done.
Before you go, Miss Fletcher, from absolutely nowhere, she's gonna whisk another can of bear spray and give it to you.
She's gonna take the
Just
other one
has
out
it
of
in her pocket.
She's gonna take the other one out of her pocket and like look at it, and then take the one that you hand. Thank you so much. This might come in handy. And she's gonna actually hand one to Ken, just so that.
I was gonna say, like, no one's cared about Ken. It's like, cool.
Yes.
Can of bear spray. All right. So for those of you going to the library, we're going to go ahead and, since that's going to be mostly research, and we're getting close to end time, we're going to go ahead and take care of that real quick. Make a couple of rolls. You'll find out what it is you've discovered at the start of next session. So the group of you go to the library. All of you are familiar with the main library. You've all been there. It is a very nice library, very large. They have those old-fashioned ladders on rails to get to the higher up books. It is actually fairly crowded because Saturdays is when students do a lot of their research and homework and things like that. And it's not hard to get down into the stacks. Normally, you need special permission to go down there, but all three members of your party have access to that area for various reasons. You have the professor with tenure, trademark. You have the janitor who goes down there to dust and clean on a fairly regular basis, and then you have a grad student who just shows his ID and is given access because he needs access to some of those older books for some of his research on occasion. However, the other two members who are not here won't have as easy access getting in. Meaning you can, as a professor with tenure, Cropper, you can tell the librarian to give certain students access.
Yeah, I will. I'll let them know that Kenneth Kane and Alexis Fletcher, I know, are both assisting me with a project I'm working on to admit them. They're doing an errand for me to admit them into the stacks for research when they arrive.
All right, the librarian will sign off on that and then let you go. The stacks down in the basement are very well kept. This is also where they keep the old books, including, as most old universities have, their what they refer to as University Bible, which is on a very nice pedestal in the middle of the stacks, inside of a case, and it has been said that the Bible will flip itself open to an important passage if somebody comes to it with a question about, like with a burning question that requires an answer that they haven't been able to find an answer elsewhere. none of you have that. At least none of you have the conviction that would have caused this supposed rumor. So it's actually just open to Genesis chapter 1 on the opening page.
Let there be light.
And from what the professor knows, the university founders has a handwritten note that says, "May this university bring light to the darkness and teach those who seek to be taught." Which, in fact, that message is there.
I think he glances over it as we approach the founder's painting.
Yep.
Which mumbles to himself, "We seek to be taught."
So it's not hard to insert the key, and the wall sort of opens very slightly in your direction.
So, question on that: is it open?
Yeah.
Is it open Scooby-Doo style, or does it open Harry Potter style? Like, is it like this is a secret passage built into the building, or is this like the bricks start moving themselves away to give us a doorway?
It is very much Scooby-Doo style. I was about to ask you, what do you mean Harry Potter style? Because I know zero about Harry Potter. I have very purposely avoided it because I couldn't read the first page of the first book. I absolutely hated it. And I don't.
But anyway,
I don't actually dislike books on the first page, but when I read that first page, I was like, this is bad. And
is it clearly supernatural or mechanical?
No, this is mechanical. It's mechanical. Okay. It's very Scooby-Doo. When you mentioned it, I was like, no, it's very Scooby-Doo. So there's a little spot where you can put your fingers in to haul the door open. It's pretty well maintained. There's no creaking, like you hear the sound of gears. But the door opens pretty readily. And inside is what looks like a mini library that also has what looks like a broken sword inside of a case hanging on the wall. There are plenty of books, plenty of scrolls. There's a section labeled The Arts, and it has several small books and scrolls. You have one on the history of the school. There is an entire section labeled Case Files, and there are hundreds of cases.
That's disturbing.
This is quite extensive.
Let's get to work.
Where do we begin?
They also have a lot of history books. They have a lot of books on legends. Some of them are handwritten. Some of them are, printed. There's even a couple of books that look like they're wrapped in unusual skins. None of them are human skin. I'll say that much.
That's good.
You sure?
But yeah, I guess
yes,
I'm sure trying to narrow down something
impossible to
Greek
tell
in origin.
Test if the book is old enough.
Yeah.
Skin tans to leather just as easy as other
animals.
Yeah,
I'm telling you for certain, because of certain lore things, none of these books are wrapped in human skin.
Sad.
It's definitely not trademark named X.
Anyway. So I tried to track down a section on Greek history.
Okay, there is a section on Greek myths, but it's not labeled Greek myths. It's just labeled Greek stories. There's a section for Egyptian stories. There's a section for you name it. Anything that has mythology attached to it, there is a section down here for it. From all over the world, and the books range in age from very, very, very old to actually relatively recent.
What kind of role is this to dig in?
Let me take a look here.
Yes. How do we start the montage?
So this is your chance for anybody who actually wants to, because your characters will be able to advance once the case is over. You can start building towards legend lore. This is an excuse for you to do so in story. What you will be doing is you will need to roll. Let's see. I would say familiarity skill would be great if any of you took it, but none of you did.
That's
this would
because
have been
by the
perfect for
book,
that.
it's very different. You made it different afterwards.
Yeah, it's fine. I would say
History?
history is a good one. Since you have tools, you can roll either anthropology, archaeology, history, or
Investigation?
yeah, investigation would work also. Trying to see if there's any other ones that I would allow. Or you can make a perception roll if that's better. Since you have the tools, you will actually get a plus 10 to this particular roll to determine where your results end up.
Oh,
Do I have to differentiate
then
between
I'm-
history or anthropology, archaeology?
You'll get
It's
the same
gonna be
answers
same score for
regardless.
me.
Yeah, you'll get the
I-
same answer regardless.
I have a teacher level in history. Delicious.
I'm
Let's do
I'm
that.
doing history, and with the plus 10, I got a low result.
Okay.
I got an
That
extremely.
is a crit.
I got a high.
Ooh, got crit.
Of course, the
Yeah.
professor critted. I thought it
The
was
professor crits. It's great.
Cuthbert
I have
is
orange.
floating in the middle of the library like Highlander. I see everything. I know everything.
No,
I know.
as you all start reaching for books, Cuthbert stops and looks at the books. The Heidi grabs the first book that she can read the back of, like she can read the spine that has, a label on it, and she starts reading. It's a book on essentially stories about Zeus, which unfortunately isn't going to net you any answers, but it does tell you for certain that it is not one of his children masquerading as like a swan. It does also allow you to eliminate, after having read the book, a few others that would not be related. For our graduate student, you grab an old, what looks like handwritten journal, and the stories that are within come from the perspective of a sailor on the Greek seas. Unfortunately, what he talks about is sea serpents and other things that he encounters that nobody else seems to remember. Though he does talk about hearing the sound of a song while they're, out on the ocean. And he's the only one who seems to have noticed it. In fact, he was saved from jumping overboard on multiple occasions the day he heard the song.
Okay, that sounds a lot like the siren stuff. Never mind. I don't think that'll help us. Puts it back.
The professor, however, is the one to, instead of grabbing something bound, he reaches up and grabs a scroll. Opening the scroll, there is in fact an exact replica of the Nautilus shell. That is referred to in the Greek, which, by the way, this scroll has several pieces of paper that have been rolled up in the scroll, translating it to English. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to read it because you didn't take Greek as ancient Greek as a language. Hooray for getting a critical success for me to be able to actually say you get to read this scroll instead of having to figure out how to translate it. That talks about what they refer to as the siren caller horn. That is used to, someone will blow into the horn. You have to play a very specific song. And it will summon a siren that will do your bidding.
It's a siren.
Told you.
Hashtag Kenneth was
I
right.
Kenneth was right. I can't believe he called it. He's right twice today. It must be a blue moon
This-
tonight.
This means that someone is deliberately trying to kill.
Why me? What have I done other than drink coffee and sit in my room writing this dissertation for like the last feels like forever?
You began
I'm
to
going to stop you there.
Heard it.
I'm going to stop you there. You'll get a chance to have this conversation next time because we're past where I wanted to stop, and I have to go back to the other two real quick because I would like for them to get to their cliffhanger spot for the end of the session.
Oh yeah, cliffhanger.
Yeah, if you hadn't figured it out, that's what I'm doing on purpose. Anyway, the two of you have decided to go where, Alexis? Since Ken is just following your lead?
No, I said I had to grab something first.
Oh yeah, he had to grab
Oh.
something, and then I was gonna get like security cameras or something. Is what I was
Yeah,
gonna do.
I have to go get my whip.
Oh my god.
So you run back to his dorm room where he comes out with a very, very nice whip.
Yeah.
I
Alright,
assume
I'm
that
good.
he spent a decent amount of money on it.
Oh yeah, it's good stuff. I know how to use it. It's good times. We're fine. All right, let's go.
Okay.
Where are we going?
Again, she has never seen Indiana Jones. She has no reference for this. She just knows you went into your room and came out with a
came back
whip.
with a...
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, it's very obviously like a whip that's used by people. It's not used in a situation for sexy times because it's way too long for that.
good to know. She can take her finger off the bear mace now. So yeah, she's going to, I guess, like the security room somewhere where she can get access to the security cameras.
Okay. You know where the security room is, where the cameras are.
You've been brought
At
there a
this
time or
point,
two.
they have not switched over from tapes to CDs. In fact, there is also an entire room dedicated to storing the security tapes. The tapes will generally run for about 8 hours
Okay.
before they need to be replaced. So they do have people coming in fairly regularly and replacing the tapes. But they don't have anybody who sits in the room except during like heavy traffic time.
Has it already rolled over from the, because I want to know like who stole the Nautilus shell is what I'm looking for. So have they already come and collected those tapes and put them in storage, or are they still in the security room?
They would have put them in storage. The replacement happens every 8 hours, starting at 8 a.m.
Okay.
And if you're looking at the time, it should tell you what time it currently is.
Okay. Then that's what we're gonna look for. We're gonna look for those particular tapes. I can't decide if I want to steal them and then look at them somewhere else, or if I just want to like look at them there.
All right, so first things first. In order to get into the room, because it is locked, I need you to... Are you trying to sneak in, or are you actually just walking in?
Well, you said there's nobody there typically, right?
There's nobody there on... The weekends is generally they have somebody come in and replace the tapes every few hours. But they don't usually have somebody on duty. Like, they have somebody who's on call in case there's a security-related event. And part of their job is to come in and replace the tapes.
If there's nobody there, then I would like to lockpick my way in. If there is somebody there randomly, that is why I have Ken, who is super personable and knows everybody and is very friendly, because he can distract them while I get what I want.
Go ahead and make me a lock-picking roll.
Okay.
So Ken, she's pulled out a little case that has like some
Holy
tools,
shit.
some very small tools, and she immediately goes in and apparently has practice at this
That is
particular
a
lock.
critical high, by the way.
Jesus.
The door was never locked in the first place.
Exactly.
Yep. She apparently like puts the tools in. You can hear some low tick tick tick, and then you hear click, and she opens the door.
They really need to upgrade the security in this place.
Yeah, that was super neat.
Thank you.
Walking down the hall, there is in fact a security camera that's tied to the door here. there's no way you're going to be able to walk into this building without being seen. At least on the camera. And somebody has to check the camera to even notice you were there.
I'm sure they've seen me skulking around before. It's nothing I can't explain. It's fine.
All right. Where are you headed? Are you headed to the camera room? Or are you headed to the tape storage?
Well, it is now, if the clock is correct, going on 11 a.m. Getting ready to go on
Yes.
11 a.m. So I'm going to go to the storage because they would have already moved them, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, I'm going to go to storage.
All right. I need you to make me another lock picking check because this door is locked.
Is it though? Maybe. Oof. That I still make it. I just want to point that out, I still make it. It's a low result though.
Just takes a little longer.
It does.
All right. So she doesn't have as much luck with this particular door. You're about to give up because you're not sure if, whoever it is that's on the weekend is actually going to do a random patrol in this building when you hear the door click, letting you know it's unlocked.
Put my lockpicks back in my back pocket. I never had any doubt. I knew I was going to get this door open. It's fine. And then just kind of shrugs off that doubt for a second and just boldly walks into the room.
This room also has security cameras, so if somebody checks them, they'll find out you were in here.
I'm fine with that. Like I said, not the first time.
Not the first time. Okay, so the tapes are organized by date. I would like for you to make me an investigation check. You can also do so, Ken.
Sure.
Or you can do perception if that's higher for you.
Sure.
That is a high result for me, please.
I'm not even sure I'm in the room.
Did
Wait,
you
the
get
game
lost in
master
the
just rolled.
hallway?
No, he hasn't been told to actually come along with you. And so yes, he's in the hallway next to the door that you first entered.
Is
Yeah,
Ken
I'm on the-
thinking this is
well.
the best second date ever?
This is the best time we've ever this is just a great day. Like sure,
acting
like
really
Bob
well.
almost died, but
Yeah.
I'm on the lookout for giant bird women. I'm too busy thinking about that. Ignoring the fact that we're indoors in a room.
They could be locked.
So, you locate the tape from the night and morning of. But you do happen to notice that there is a tape from yesterday that is missing.
Well, I didn't steal this. Who stole this? That's very odd. I thought I was the only
How
one
rude.
stealing right? I'm the only one that steals security footage. What is going on?
The time frame you notice matches the time frame just before the scream was heard yesterday.
Is it so it's just the footage as a whole, like all the security cameras in an area, or is it one specific security camera for that date?
It is a specific set of security cameras.
Okay. I would like to look for other cameras that could have caught somebody around the same time heading in that direction.
All right, make me another investigation check. This time, what you're looking for is at a -30.
Oh,
This is hard. Granted, I think your investigation is like
I
really
don't-
high.
it is, but I don't think it's that high. You said 30?
Yeah.
I mean, that's still okay, I guess. Hold on, let's see. I think I've used up all of my good luck with rolls in the beginning. Actually, I lied. No, I'm totally fine. That's a medium result for me, even at a
Oh,
minus
gee.
30.
Oh, gee, and you were afraid. Okay,
I
so
was afraid.
you're able to locate the appropriate group of tapes
Okay.
that would allow you to potentially catch the person who stole the tape that's missing.
Who is it? Or when I look at it, do I see who it could potentially be?
Next
Well-
time on Dragon Balls.
Darn it.
Ding, ding, ding! You have 2 tapes
Yeah.
you can watch, and we will deal with that next time.
There it is.
Dun dun dun.
I don't like you right now.
I told you. I warned you there was going to be a cliffhanger.
I know.
This should not be a surprise, especially after what I did last session. It shouldn't be surprising that I'm putting you on a cliffhanger this one.
Fair.
So we are in fact going to be calling it a night for Spoof Files. Tune in next week for the conclusion of the case of Sound and Waves.
Tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern, you will catch us here with the Tome of Zeltan. It is a Savage Worlds game ran by Billy Berserker. He is amazing. If you've never seen him, if you've never played with him, you're in for a treat. He's gonna be amazing. Hashtag Spooky Snacks twice tomorrow to get an entry into the raffle. We are off Sunday. Monday is the conclusion of Roadkill's Call of Cthulhu, Echoes of the OSS game. The following Monday, Paranormal Albany comes back, which is a Dresden Files game. I think they're in like season 8 or something like that. It's amazing and ridiculous. Yeah. Shadowrun on Tuesday. Wednesday we actually don't have anything. Thursday we don't have anything. Friday is their conclusion. Saturday is Destination Investigation. The following Sunday is, hold on, I got it, 10 Candles, Paranormal Albany, and then Avatar. And then Thursday on Halloween is the Alien I'm Gonna Kill Everybody one shot, and I will announce the winner of our raffle.
I believe we have Centurion Ridge.
Did I forget Centurion Ridge?
Wednesday
I did.
before?
I forgot. Yeah, the day before that is the Wednesday is Centurion Ridge. I'm excited to kill everybody. I'm sorry. But yeah, I will announce the winner of our wonderful raffle, which is a mystery gift box on Halloween after my one shot when I kill everybody, hopefully. I do have extra characters made up for people, so if I do kill everybody, they can actually continue the story until I kill those people. But yeah, that's all I got. Sorry.
She just wants to commit murder.
I do. I just want to kill everybody. It's gonna be great.
So it was Isabeth all along?
Yes.
The one character that they'll accidentally leave standing fucking goes as batshit as Shelley Duvall.
I mean, we're gonna have to worry about cascading fucking fear effects.
Yeah, no, stress and panic is a thing, and it is. We are playing the cinematic version, not the or we're playing the cinematic. No, we're playing the Kill 'Em All version. We're not playing the campaign version, so stress and panic comes on very quickly and very hard. When I ran another one shot, people were fucking like. It was bad. People were going comatose. Yeah, everybody died
so
in one room. People were going comatose and fleeing. It the panic is no joke. It's
that was like an hour and a half game, wasn't it?
No, it was longer than that. It was a lot longer than that. We ran late.
2 to 3. Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, we ran late.
It felt like it was super quick. It felt so quick in that one shot.
Yeah, because it moves very fast.
Once the panic sets in. Once the panic sets in, everything goes downhill.
It didn't help that I opened the game with giving them stress. So I started with a bang. It was great. But yeah, so that's gonna be on Halloween. Hashtag Spooky Snacks twice per game, every game that we're running this month. Until I say no more on Halloween, and then I will announce the winner. I'm done now. Sorry.
That's okay. We're all set to go here. I really want people to tune in for the conclusion of this particular case, and depending on how the players like it and the audience likes it, we may see a return of the Spoof Files at a later date.
As long as Bob Ivan doesn't die, I will rejoin as long as you want me here.
I mean, the cases aren't always going to be set in the 90s. I have some ideas for some that are set in the late 1800s, the early 1900s. There's a reason why there's an entire shelf that is filled with hundreds of cases. It's my in-game excuse to be able to go, hey, look, I'm setting a game in 1886. Who wants to play?
I'm actively begging for late 1800s. That is my time.
The Victorian.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
That should give you an idea about how long this university's been around. So have a good night, everybody. Thank you for tuning in.
Night.
Night.